they press record. So here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Coming off the heels of IWC's 100th live event celebration, a raucous crowd is in the Court Time Sports Center in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania, as IWC kicks off 2008 with yet another new beginning. At ringside, I am Joe Dombrowski, joined as always by the esteemed Jay Worthington Farnsworth, and major implications here tonight, Mr. Farnsworth. 3 titles to be decided and a lot of bad blood still in play.
You know, absolutely right.
It's a tag team attraction set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing to you first, at a total combined weight of 397 pounds, the team of Johnny Gargano and Facade.
Former tag team champion Johnny Gargano on your screen now, 20 years old, a prodigy from the Cleveland, Ohio area. His tag team partner is the suburban terrorist, the graffiti enthusiast, Michael the Bomber Facade, is set for tag team competition against a team making their return to IWC, or at least one of its members is.
Oh, here they come. Speaking of returning.
It was back in the month of November when Vendetta was suspended for a lengthy period of time for an outlandish assault with a nightstick on Babyface Fire. Tonight, the suspension is finally lifted and he is back.
Ladies and gentlemen, opponents, at a total combined weight of 412 pounds, the team of Jimmy Delicious DeMarco, and bringing his IWC return, Vendetta.
The controversial, perverted, politically incorrect, Delicious Jimmy DeMarco, Dr. Delicious if you will, not making any friends at ringside, but there's the friend that counts, folks. Vendetta, who has been the muscle behind the mouth of DeMarco, and to a lesser extent the entire Gambino family, for a number of months, and he certainly does not seem to be in a great mood here tonight.
Has he ever really been in a good mood?
Not at all. And when you throw in the 90-day suspension on top of it, or the 60-day suspension, then certainly he's going to be even more surly than usual, and Gargano and Facade may find that out the hard way.
Yeah, I saw him in the back. I said hello, and he punched me in the groin. I'm not kidding. So, yeah, that gives you an idea of the mindset of Vendetta coming into this.
But Vendetta certainly hasn't been spending his 60 days on the shelf on the couch. He's been doing some extensive workout regimens here, as he is clearly in as good as, if not better shape than he's ever been.
Really? He got a 60-day pass to go work out, to go hone the skill, essentially.
Bobby Williams, the official assigned to this contest, as Jimmy DeMarco starting out with Johnny Gargano, and Gargano certainly has the crowd at his side at this point in time, and Gargano and Facade have been having trouble getting on the right track ever since they lost the tag team championship to Mickey and Marshall Gambino some months back. They've been in a bit of a slump, and for two men so young, they're so hungry to get back to those tag team championships. This could be their night.
I mean, really, it's kind of unfair to say they're in a slump. They came out, first time they were tagging together, they got the belts. Then they lost them. Now they're finally getting the chance to go through that feeling out period, learning what it's like to tag with the other. Yeah, there's going to be a couple hiccups in the road. But I don't know that it's fair to say it's a slump. I mean, oh.
Gargano is all about rapid, seamless motion in the ring, and nothing wrong with that slap to the back of the head, perfectly legal. A little bit of a statement made by Gargano that tonight they will not be the whipping boys that we've seen them in the past in some of our 4 and 5 corner tag team matchups. It seems Gargano just rolls DeMarco up into a ball here, and I'm hoping DeMarco's trying to escape, but I wouldn't put it past him to not.
I'm kind of confused. Why is he?
No, let's not overthink this or overanalyze this. Gargano getting ahead of steam here. He's going to slow down eventually. I guess he just needed a workout.
I guess Jimmy just needed a rest.
Well, he needed to alleviate some stress. Put it that way. Vendetta, and there's no laughing matter about Vendetta. And how do you think Vendetta feels? Knowing how seriously he takes wrestling, all the years of tape study, how do you think Vendetta feels about having to hang around Jimmy DeMarco all the time?
Honestly, angry. Now ask me how he feels any other time. Angry.
There you go. Facade up and over, uses his agility here. Facade will have to play to his quickness. Springs in with the head scissors, gets the bigger man down. Facade with a prawn hold here, up and over, into a roll-up, 2-0. First near fall of the evening from Michael the Bomber Facade, and now trying to take out the vertical base of Vendetta, chopping away at the leg. But Vendetta just powers him down with a clothesline.
The speed was catching up to Vendetta, so he brought out his big guns. Pretty big guns, too. He's always going to be able to overpower Mike the Bomber.
Vendetta got to be about 240, 250 pounds of solid muscle.
He's just hanging him outside of the ring. Just pushed him right out while he was choking.
And the tag is made to DeMarco here. No frills with Vendetta. No chicanery or falderon. DeMarco, maybe in his own little world there, is the dictator of Delicious and the prime minister of perversion, but great execution on the double suplex into a 2 count as Facade showing that heart and that fight that originally did lead into the tag team titles.
Now just peppering him with some punches.
And look where his knee is.
I'd prefer not to.
Bobby Williams thankfully able to detect that infraction. As DeMarco now just trying to wear away at the Bomber, and the crowd showing how they feel about the Hollywood Balds and their reunification here tonight at A New Beginning.
Which really, the crowd needs to watch its mouth. I would not put it past Vendetta to go out and slap the taste out of each and every person here, out of each and every person's here's mouth. I didn't conjugate that right, did I, Joe?
Well, Michael Facade tried to conjugate a 3 count, but to no avail, as DeMarco is able to escape, but now the tide is back in the favor of Team Facade Gargano until the cheap eye poke by DeMarco into a nicely done Hurricane Rana.
I gotta admit, I'm a sucker for a good eye poke.
Yeah.
Gun to my head, that's probably the most effective move in wrestling, just in general.
You were feeling that joyous when you encountered Vendetta earlier today, now were you?
No, that wasn't an eye poke, that wasn't.
And Vendetta is once again the legal man as Michael the Bomber Facade has been isolated from his tag team partner. Solid right hands here as Gargano just craving the tag, craving in-ring competition at this point, with the Balls using very smart tag team strategy.
Well, they've had 60 days to work out some strategy.
Balls no doubt can't be happy that, for lack of a better term, their bosses here. We have a cover 2-0. Their bosses, Mickey and Marshall Gambino, lost the IWC Tag Team titles to Babyface Fire in that steel cage at a Call to Arms 4. And no doubt the Hollywood Balls would love to be in tag team title contention as well, because the current champions, the individuals that Vendetta was suspended when he assaulted, Babyface Fire.
And Jimmy Delicious just put the boots to Michael Facade, may have knocked half his teeth out, although he still probably has more teeth than the average fan in the crowd.
Well, that's really not called for, as DeMarco with a double handful of hair.
You're telling me, I mean, toothbrushes are pretty cheap.
DeMarco, I have no
clue. This contest 5 minutes.
I think that's exactly a great look for Jimmy DeMarco, but the tag is into Vendetta, who I don't think was very amused by DeMarco's antics, as now Vendetta may be looking to put away the suburban terrorist Michael Facade here. Powers him up, but Facade drives him down with the inverted DDT, and this could be a turning point in this matchup. Facade finally gets a breather.
All about knowing your center of gravity. It was a mistake by Vendetta to try and pick him up and spin him around like that. That's prime territory for Facade to reverse.
Both tags made, Jimmy DeMarco and Johnny Gargano, the legal men. DeMarco cuts off Gargano, double team attempt. Johnny goes up and over and drives both men down on the knee. That's some innovation that we see from Johnny Gargano, a true student of the game, much like Vendetta has been in recent years as well. To the hamstring, to the head with the enziguri. Great combo offense. Drop toe hold as Gargano is a step ahead of the ball. Perhaps we shouldn't comment. And we shouldn't comment on that drop kick to the glutes either, or the after effects for Jimmy DeMarco, who may have had his next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights totally ruined. Double thrust kick. The big man's down.
Jimmy DeMarco is catching a breather outside, trying to readjust the mommy-daddy buttons.
And Facade flies with a helo. Gargano with a cover, 2.5. And we were so close to Gargano and Facade's first win in many, many months.
Smart move. It looked like Jimmy was up to cut off the pin. The dive was a smart move. He just didn't have enough to hold him down.
DDT attempt, there's that power. Vendetta just put on the brakes. Gargano did not have enough leverage to take him down. But second turnbuckle on the inside cross body again. Not enough on the 210-pound frame of Gargano, who got muscled back into the corner and dropped with a hard spine buster. Outside, it's DeMarco and Facade still brawling, but in the ring, what looks to be, is that a Texas Cloverleaf?
Looks like it, yep. And that's it.
That's going to be all. Gargano couldn't hang on. The amazing power behind the torque on the Texas Cloverleaf.
The team of Jimmy Delicious DeMarco, Vendetta, the Hollywood Balls.
And Vendetta comes back to IWC. Oh, God. We've been interrupted.
I'm so excited to be back here, going homosexual and back chicks. I'm ready to jump out of my tight. But what I like right now is for a family reunion. So I want my lovable cousins to come out here. So we can meet up like at the Facade meeting. And show everybody why we're the best tag team in IWC.
What the hell did he just say?
I'm not going to repeat it. We'll explain it to you.
Mickey and Marshall still irate over losing the tag team titles in that violent, gruesome cage matchup, the IWC Match of the Year for 2007, and they're going to take it out with a chair and a baseball bat. Gargano's hurt, and with a damn baseball bat, Michael Facade being assaulted. That's not right. This is the same kind of behavior that got Vendetta suspended back in the month of November. And Gargano trying to bail out his partner, but he's hurt.
Facade made the right move. Run.
That's all he could do.
Try not to hyperventilate, gay dudes. This shot's precious.
Oh, please. Well, just as the statement Vendetta made when he left was very emphatic, so was the statement he and the entire family made upon Vendetta's return. And it seems very, very clear that even though the family was defeated inside of a steel cage, they are still going to wreak havoc on the entire IWC locker room that crosses their paths.
Now, I got the microphone, you can control. That shirt's disgusting. It's a family shirt. Do something. You ain't gonna do nothing. Man, sit down.
The Gambinos inciting a near riot like they do everywhere they go in this entire business.
That fan does not want any piece of Marshall the Bull. I've seen this end really badly before.
We need to get somebody to get control here. Norm Connor's trying to keep control here of these lawless Gambinos. And I've seen professional wrestlers face the Gambinos, face Marshall in particular, and back down. These fans do not want a part of the family, or else they may get whacked too. The yearly Super Indy tournament is quite simply the destiny of dreams. Either they are realized and come to life, or they are shattered to dust. And Troy Lord, a couple of years ago, saw his dream shattered in the form of a very bad knee injury that caused him to pass out from the pain. He did not submit, pass out from the pain in the finals of Super Indy 5.
that first part was downright poetic, Joe. Have you been brushing up on the literature, Gabo?
Beg your pardon. You're watching too much Jimmy DeMarco. I don't like your verbiage. And speaking of verbiage, no one can use it quite like Delirious. Delirious was the opponent of Troy Lords in the finals of Super Indy 5. Delirious was the man that caused Troy Lords to pass out to the pain. And Delirious was the man that won the Super Indy title that year, a spot some feel rightfully should have gone to Balls Hot Troy Lords, as we are joined by another individual with Super Indy tournament experience, Super Indy 6 winner, Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney. Pleasure to have you join us, sir.
I'm sure it is. What's up, Dombrowski?
Well, we are about to crown the first of the Elite 8 in the Super Indy 7, sir, and you being a veteran of that tournament, you can certainly do a good job scouting the field.
Well, I mean, you got to give it up to Delirious here, a former Super Indy champion, you know, much more experience. Troy Lords looks to be nervous, despite the chewing gum. Hey, maybe, look, a pat on the back, maybe it's good feelings between the two of them.
Well, I think there's a lot of mutual respect between the two of them after the wars they had been through throughout 2006. And I don't know about, I can sense hesitation on referee Stephen Coulter to examine that mask, but I don't know about Troy Lords. Ever since Troy Lords really had that career rejuvenation after Super Indy 5, he's been balls to the wall. He's been a risk-taking daredevil, some would say, and nothing has seemed to slow him down with the exception of losing that Super Indy title some months back.
Well, you know, you said there was hesitation on the part of the referee to get this match started. I bet there's hesitation on his part every day when he wakes up and looks in the mirror, just like with you, huh?
Well, I'm not going to touch those comments.
That was a good one.
I thought you'd change.
In what way? Hey, what's your New Year's resolution?
To keep control of the broadcast booth, but I failed at that already.
Yeah, all right.
Delirious with a takedown on Troy Lords, front chancery now. And certainly, you ran the gauntlet last year. You can speak from experience. How tough and how consuming is it on the body to go through 3 tough matches in one night against the best this world has to offer?
Well, it's extremely tough. I mean, and not just from a physical perspective, but also a mental standpoint. You know, it's a lot to deal with, you know, going in, what it's going to take to win. It you know, it's tremendously nerve-wracking. You know, a lot of anxiety involved in that. Although Delirious doesn't seem to be a guy who would really be afflicted with much mental anxiety, wouldn't you say?
Oh, not at all. He's a master of the psychological game. We saw some of that last month with Showtime Eric Young and Glenn Spector as well. But now it's back to the long road to the top once again, hopefully for one of these two men, as we see a great switch by Delirious on the side headlock and very respectful competition thus far.
Yeah, because that's what the fans paid to see, respectful. They're going to come out, they're going to shake hands, hug, trade recipes. I want to see someone hit someone else in the jump. Well, I want to see someone's head bashed in. This is all well and good.
Well, this would be the match for that because it's Troy Lords, and his motto, as everyone knows, roll out with your balls out.
Troy Lords with a handful of whiskers and Delirious
with a handful of nipples?
You said it better than I could have. And a standoff from that. Well,
I gotta admit, that's the first time I've ever seen a nipple used in a counter in a pro wrestling match.
Gentlemen, later tonight, I doubt there'll be much nipple grabbing in our other qualifying matchup between Super Hentai and Ruckus. Do either you gentlemen, as they demonstrate the infraction with referee Coulter, do either you gentlemen have an analysis on that encounter?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Oh.
Delirious having a good old time. You don't yank on, you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. And both the referee and Troy Lords are finding out you don't tug on Delirious's goatee.
But apparently Coulter's nipples are fair game. No disqualifications yet. And karma has a strange way of catching up on you, and even though Coulter's on the up and up now, I can't say that past actions haven't warranted him deserving that.
Ralphie?
That's their pet name for Coulter. They call him Ralphie. The whole
From Christmas
Story deal, yeah.
Yeah. What a great movie. He does kind of look like Ralphie.
I don't think Ralphie's ever been through this thing. I believe that was something along the lines of wrestling like two gentlemen, as the personal interpreter of Delirious, Daizee Haze, looks on from ringside. Lords and Delirious back to business now, because only one can make it to Super Indy 7 this spring.
Wrestling like gentlemen. There goes my hopes of seeing some guy getting his head bashed in.
Well, it'll be a long and eventful night, Mr. Farnsworth.
I guarantee one of them gets behind enough in the race, and all of a sudden that gentleman thing goes out the window.
Well, and even if not, keep in mind the Sandman's in our locker room, so head bashing is to come later in this broadcast as Delirious cinches in the side headlock once again. And Mr. Sweeney, you've been in the ring with Delirious. You know a lot about him. What does Troy Lords have to do to send him off?
Troy Lords is in where of his head here. I don't know what I can tell Troy Lords to do. You can get him flustered, but he's a lot smarter than he lets on. A tremendous ring technician. Look at this. All right, well, Troy Lords has the upper hand with those arm drags. Big leg kick there. I ain't impressed.
Well, it's a very dangerous thing you can do with Troy Lords is underestimate him, and Lords maybe thinking a bit too fast. They're going a mile a minute. Delirious able to capitalize.
Beautiful, Daddy.
And Lords may have hurt himself on the impact, favoring the left knee, and that is the same knee, correct me if I'm wrong, Farnsworth, that was injured back at Super Indy 5.
Yeah, you're right there. He's always had a weak wheel, so to speak. It looks like it may have given out on him.
That was caused originally as a result of Hentai and their heated rivalry, but now it seems that Lords is just the victim of a fluke accident. And Delirious not worried about the count at all here.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
And Mr. Sweeney, not to take away from anything in the ring here, very important stakes here. We have a near fall, 2 and a kick out.
Now, what's Troy Lords' history with the Super Indy? He's been in it, hasn't he?
Oh, well, he would have, some say he would have won the Super Indy tournament instead of Delirious if it wasn't for Hentai's interference. Delirious made Troy Lords pass out to win at Super Indy 5.
All right.
But speaking of that Super Indy title, Larry Sweeney, you step into a very dangerous circumstance later tonight with John McChesney. Texas Death Rules for the Super Indy title. You came up just second short in the cage. What is your state of mind into this dangerous match?
Well, you know what? McChesney's a weasel, and I haven't been able to beat him in a long time. This is a matter of shame for me. I mean, that cage match, I had him there, and the point was to escape. And he escaped quicker than I did. I make no excuses for my performance. He got me there. But I'll tell you what, baby, this Texas Death Match, falls count anywhere. This is about laying in the blows, much as Delirious is doing right now. And if I can't get the job done tonight, my name ain't sweet and sour.
And the aggression level has been up here as the match progresses. Great back suplex by Delirious on Troy Lords. Over into the cover. Leg is hooked, 2 and no. Troy Lords able to kick out once again, and we've seen so many times over the past couple of years the perseverance in Troy Lords. He would indeed rather pass out than tap out, and that may be what Delirious will have to do again to get the Super Indy 7.
Yeah, so what about a tan? You ever thought about getting a tan? That might be what you're missing. That could be a resolution for you. Go to the tanning salon. Well, help you out with the ladies, you know, go out there. They like you looking fit, looking tan. I don't have to worry about that. I was just in Hawaii for 2 weeks. I look great. I mean, you know what? I really am looking good these days. You know, I'm just going to go out and let it be known. I know that you've said that to me privately in the back on more occasions than one. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that. I don't think you mean it any. Oh, wait a minute.
Sunset Flip, this could be all 2 and no.
Well, let's get back to talking about you. Have you ever been to a tanning salon?
No, I have not, sir. And
why not? What's your excuse?
Well, I'm not on camera right now. I'm behind the scenes, and at least you're modest about your looks. I can say that. Enziguri by Troy Lords to the already jarbled up head of Delirious, as now both men are down, and Stephen Coulter has to administer the obligatory 10 count as it's crunch time in this Super Indy qualifying match.
No doubt about that. We got a time limit on this thing, 10 minutes? What's
not
the
sure
time
about
limit
that.
on this? Where's your clock?
We have to consult with ring Chuck Roberts about that. I believe we're still in our comfort zone.
man.
I don't believe we've hit 10 minutes yet. But Troy Lords taking away at the legs, gets an off-balance suplex into the float over. Very nicely done. Lords hanging on.
Oh wow, sit out gourd buster there.
Gonna follow through, both feet right to the top of the head, and Troy Lords is feeling it now. He's got the momentum in his control.
Lords could use a tan as well. That Delirious is looking tan. Wow, big brain buster there.
Brain buster.
Go for the pin, my man.
Troy Lords specially, this could be all 2-0. Delirious back to his feet. Lords
Oh wow, right
into
to the throat. Did you see that? That was right in there.
Lords continue to try to follow through, and he just got dropped right into the second turnbuckle.
And Delirious is a very dangerous man with an opponent in the corner, and look at that.
Follow through with the knee, right to the side of the head. And Delirious maybe going for shadows over hell. This could be all
Oh,
here.
nailed him.
Drops Lords. Is this going to be all Delirious? Advancing, no, Lords kicked out. Lords somehow dug deep and was able to escape from shadows over hell.
All right, it's time to get this thing going. They're digging deep.
Delirious has Lords trapped in the corner one more time, but Lords meets him with the boot. Drives him down with the DDT. This could be all. Can Lords follow up? He's got the leg hook. 2-0. Another near fall as Delirious escapes. And keep in mind, Mr. Sweeney, this is just the qualifying round. Imagine what we're going to be seeing at Super Indy 7 this spring.
10 minutes gone by, 10 minutes.
Lords maybe setting up for the X-Buster. Delirious tries to counter, has Lords scouted from their past battles. Drops, this is a submission attempt. Is this going to be all? Almost a horizontal version of the Cobra Clutch. And will this be it for Balls Hot? No, a counter.
Ball's out.
Bridges up. Delirious goes with the momentum, another near fall.
That was a 3 count, wasn't it?
2.5, I believe. Coulter found many twos, but this matchup,
Here we go.
still alive. Does he have him
Look
on
in
the
the
rope?
tights.
And that couldn't do it. That straight kick to the head may be what he needed.
Some Notre Dame special right there. Wait a minute.
Inside cradle. Lords has him. Troy Lords has made it to Super Indy 7.
Your winner, and advancing to Super Indy 7, Balls Hot, Troy Lords.
Balls Hot survives. Delirious does what he could not do. Back at Super Indy 5, Troy Lords defeats Delirious, and as a result, he is part of the elite field of 8 at Super Indy 7 this spring. Troy Lords, 2 years after his first Super Indy entrance, could have his dreams realized at Super Indy 7. Will he go all the way this year? We'll find out this spring, but you gotta give it up for Delirious for a hell of an effort. But Troy Lords advances to Super Indy 7. And a showing of respect in the ring, Delirious realizes on this night he was beaten by the better man, but will Lords have the same luck come this spring?
I'm Jay Worthington Farnsworth, you already knew that. I'm here with Daivari and Dennis Gregory, and I'm here to ask one question. All the alliances in IWC, how did you two come together?
My fellow Americans, I come and I stand before you today to explain just what it is I'm doing and just what it is I'm about. You see, the war machine is going to keep rolling. We lost one battle, but now we're just starting to declare the war. You see, America wants a big Viagra pill jammed down its throat because it's been too soft for too long. And now I align myself with the man who will stand up for what he believes in, will apologize to no one, and guarantee victory.
Madame Toto Adamo Madame Daivari and the daughter of the magnificent Yakish, two-man Scorpio, and Yakish is the same man. And magnificent people say, I got Shiima to go because be Allah. It's the sun.
No, but I mean to give so the lights are on. See what I mean? See, now the lights are on the entranceway. So between matches,
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing to you first, making his in-ring IWC debut, he hails from Red, weighing in at 210 pounds, the newest member of the War Machine, Daivari.
It was one of the most shocking appearances in IWC history, and a call to arms for when, during Dennis Gregory's matchup with the Sandman, actually immediately following it, the Sandman captured the IWC title, the lights went out, and this man, Daivari, made his debut, aligning himself with a war veteran in Dennis Gregory. And Gregory now stated that America has gone soft, and that's why he's enlisted in Daivari. But this alliance, Daivari and the War Machine, can only mean bad things for the rest of IWC.
His opponent weighs in at 225 pounds. Hails from Celebration, Florida. He is
Too Cold Scorpio made his IWC debut last month as well and wasted no time letting the fans know what his true intentions are in IWC. He was targeting the IWC heavyweight title then held by Dennis Gregory. And Scorpio, a former ECW Tag Team Championship partner of the Sandman, has inserted himself right into this budding Sandman versus War Machine rivalry.
And you know, what a welcome to IWC. Bang, all of a sudden you got two people who hate you. Yeah, you got a crowd that loves you, but you got two people, maybe even more, that right now want to twist your head right off.
A whole War Machine with an instant vendetta against Scorpio and Sandman. Scorpio was the man who rescued the Sandman from a 2-on-1 ambush, courtesy of Daivari and Denny Gregory, and it has spawned into this matchup, both men making their IWC debuts, Too Cold, Scorpio the veteran, and Daivari, of course, the Middle Eastern sympathizer, I guess you could say. We heard that diatribe, and even though you seem to be very chummy with men like Dennis Gregory and Daivari, I could sense the uneasiness in you as you saw Daivari and Gregory together.
Yeah, you know, we all know that I have certain interests, and having the belt off of Dennis Gregory definitely helps with me and my interests. But yeah, seeing Daivari now with the War Machine has me a little more nervous than before. Okay. Back there, well, have you ever put your head in the lion's mouth, Joe?
Can't say I wanted to try that.
Yeah, well, I feel like I just did it right before I took away their dinner. I'm kind of happy to be out here and alive.
And we are set for this first ever meeting, Mr. Farnsworth, between Daivari and Scorpio. Bobby Williams assigned this contest, and you got to believe there's a lot of interested observers in the back area watching on, of course, the members of the War Machine, as well as IWC Heavyweight Champion, the Sandman, and it still seems so odd to be actually saying that.
Not to me. I mean, really, the Sandman, how many times did he have the ECW title?
5 times.
Five?
That's right.
He's definitely the championship material. Him showing up in IWC was only a matter of time, really. I will say I am shocked at how quickly he got the belt.
But to have somebody show up on their first night and end up with the IWC Heavyweight Championship is just so unusual, so bizarre. And Daivari certainly not going to show any respect to Scorpio, and I think it's reciprocal. And Daivari, series of forearm shots and kicks, just too cold Scorpio. We talked about it last month. Scorpio hasn't really had his name in the public eye in this country much in recent years, but he's been very, very active over in Germany, in Europe, throughout Europe, as well as in Japan for Pro Wrestling Noah, where he held one half of their tag team titles at one point. So Scorpio, an established veteran, hasn't been very active in this country that often, but still at the top of his game.
And likewise, Daivari, having been on the rigorous tour schedule that the WWE provides, certainly not, there's certainly no ring rust there. And now out with us, wrestling here at IWC, just maintaining that stride, so to speak.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about taking a rigorous schedule. One of the reasons Daivari chose to leave his former employer was that he wasn't on the road enough. He loved the road travel, and apparently he loves it here in IWC, or maybe he just loves the paychecks from Dennis Gregory.
Well, and who wouldn't? I mean, paycheck's a paycheck.
Do count.
And while I am no fan of Dennis Gregory, his money spends just as well as all the others. So,
to an earful, I still cannot believe that Dennis Gregory, a war veteran, I can't say war hero, but a war veteran of Iraq, of Afghanistan, would align himself with somebody who's had so many, there's no other way to say it, terroristic overtones in his wrestling career in recent years as Daivari. It just seems very hypocritical and a slap in the face to this entire country.
Dennis Gregory is not one to look to just show respect. Dennis Gregory, you have to earn his respect. You have to essentially,
Great elevation on the drop kick right in the face.
You have to take respect from him, for lack of a better term, is what I've noticed. And apparently Daivari has been able to do that.
Well, Daivari right now certainly respects the drop kick that Scorpio just delivered right to the butt of the jaw of what is now a War Machine sympathizer. And keep in mind, later tonight we will see the hardcore icon, the Sandman, make his first defense of the IWC Heavyweight Championship against Dennis Gregory. There will be no steel cage. One would think there would be no relaxed rules or street fight mentality here. This is going to favor Dennis Gregory more so than their prior meeting, especially because Dennis Gregory didn't just get through a hellacious match with Ray Rhodes like he did last year.
Very true, very true. Yeah, we're going to be seeing a fresh Dennis Gregory in the ring.
We will.
Would that be said?
Scorpio goes up and over, clothesline by Daivari, takes him down, and Scorpio trying to move just a step quicker than Daivari, but Daivari, he can fly, he can take to the air with the best of them as well. He is in that cruiserweight weight capacity, and definitely Daivari, if anybody can match Scorpio move for move, it may in fact be Daivari.
Well, a cruiserweight, true, but I can tell you, standing right next to him, he's a lot bigger than I thought he'd be.
Oh, no doubt about it. Certainly very well put together, and certainly I think at this point Daivari would rather hurt somebody by punching them in the face than doing it with flash and aerial risk-taking. And right now, he's just trying to wear down Scorpio with a standard chin lock, and it's certainly doing its job, and that's what you've got to do. Scorpio was a man who really innovated the high-flying style in this country, brought a lot of things here we haven't seen before, and probably still has things we still haven't seen before, so Daivari's going to have to ground the man.
Absolutely. You do not want to let Too Cold Scorpio get to the top ropes, get flying around the ring. That's instant doom is what that is.
Daivari still pressing the advantage, trying to wear away slowly Too Cold Scorpio, which is going to create an opening later on in the matchup, or so Daivari hopes, as he continues to apply the pressure and take away all the leverage from Scorpio.
Well, you lock on not necessarily a sleeper, but a chin lock, something that does constrict both the blood and the air. It's going to make it a lot harder for him to fly around the ring. So a smart move on Daivari's part, not just grounding, but trying to wear out Too Cold Scorpio at the same time.
5 minutes.
And you know Dennis Gregory sent Daivari on a very specific mission here. Dennis Gregory, in his mind, I don't know how in the world he's going to do it, but in his mind, he's going to defeat the Sandman here tonight to capture the IWC title for the 5th time. And then, who's going to be waiting in the rings? Too Cold Scorpio, only not if Daivari has anything to say about it.
Well, Dennis Gregory, I mean,
Scorpio battles free here, but Daivari with the elbow.
to be fair to Dennis Gregory, which is a tough thing for me to do, he
Covering the ring here, 2 and out.
he did just come out of a match with Reyes, so we're finally going to get to see what a well-heeled, well-rested, prepared Dennis Gregory can do against a competitor of the stature of the Sandman.
We saw Too Cold Scorpio have a hell of a matchup last month with the Samoan submission machine Samoa Joe. Very hard-hitting encounter. Dennis Gregory got involved, and it was Gregory that cost Scorpio that match with Samoa Joe. So certainly there's a lot of bad blood over that, as well as Scorpio, without a doubt, with the heavyweight title in his crosshairs, Scorpio wanted his debut to be a successful one, especially over a man who's never been beaten in IWC before, in Samoa Joe.
Very true. I mean, to be fair, there's no guarantee he would have won against Joe had that not happened. Joe's a hell of a competitor. But yeah, it definitely started the bad blood here in IWC. And I don't see it ending anytime soon. Oh,
Check that out. Overhead with the kick goes Scorpio, and really just out of nowhere, no way Daivari could have possibly seen that coming. Scorpio, for a veteran, still so unbelievably quick on his feet, missed with the corner splash. Daivari capitalized. He moves in with a drop kick. Cover, 2 and no.
and again, back to the ground. He's hitting him in the ribs, trying to make it a little harder to breathe.
Knees and elbow right to the small of the back, and Daivari just continuing to work at wearing down and grounding Too Cold Scorpio. That's got to be the strategy here, and you see with this this modified bear hug here, this body lock, it's going to make it so much tougher for Scorpio to get any oxygen intake in his system. If you can't breathe, you certainly can't fly.
You can't fight. You can't survive. I mean, a nice reversal.
Breaks the grasp back into a hammerlock, and a lot of torque put on that arm. Daivari trying to basically slide his way out of it to alleviate some of that pressure, and now into the rope for the break.
Smart ring positioning. It's good. I had the, just to let you know, he was rolling around the metal. I had it vacuumed before the show tonight.
Oh.
So that is a nice, fresh, clean mat.
How humanitarian of you.
Well, I did what I can.
Scorpio with a series of forearms. Daivari sent to the right, puts on the brakes. And Scorpio, ill-advised maneuver there to attempt the crossbody. Daivari saw it coming. Oh, wait a second.
He has a throw rug? A carpet?
I believe that's a traditional Farsi carpet of some sort, and I think it's about time, Jay Worthington, for the flying carpet, but nobody home. Daivari's magic carpet ride ended in disaster.
It ended rather quickly once he hit the mat. Although I'm sure it was a whole new world up there. Right up until he blew out his diaphragm. I mean, it was great.
Scorpio trying to recover here, just trying to get air back into the lungs, get back to the vertical base. Daivari took the high risk and came up empty, and now mid-ring with the slugfest, Daivari and Scorpio back and forth.
You know, we talked about, you don't want Scorpio to fly, but really you don't want him punching you in the jaw either.
Check that out. That's a whole new style that he perfected over in places like Pro Wrestling Noah, over in Europe. Scorpio is more aggressive than he ever was in his prior United States runs in the 1990s. And a super kick right to the jaw again by Kuko.
And Scorpio is up. He is about to start flying around, as we have alluded to. This is not where Daivari wants to be, which should be pretty obvious, but still.
And Scorpio just signaled 450, I do believe. Oh, wait a second. Carbon copy of last month. Dennis Gregory trips him up. Referee was diverted by Daivari. And for the second straight month, Dennis Gregory is going to con Scorpio out of a win. And Farnsworth, if you don't win, if you keep losing, you're not going to earn a title shot.
Very true. And
Hurricane Rana from the top.
Let's be certain, the only title shot that Dennis Gregory
Daivari's going to steal it here. Now 2.5. Scorpio got the shoulder up.
The only title shot Dennis Gregory wants to make sure happens.
It's gone by 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chuck. The only title shot that Dennis Gregory wants to make sure happens is his. He's going to work to make sure no one else gets one.
Daivari going to take a chance, but Scorpio meets him up top. Check this out. Top rope, twisting powerbomb, and that's going to be all.
Here is your winner,
Scorpio is victorious in spite of the interference by Dennis Gregory, leader of the War Machine, and Daivari's mission was not accomplished here tonight.
No, not at all. Scorpio victorious in his second match here at IWC and gaining a measure of revenge. Never underestimate the motivation of revenge, Joe.
But Scorpio's revenge is not done, not until he gets Dennis Gregory in the ring. Will it be for the IWC Heavyweight title? We'll have to see. That remains to be seen. But Scorpio completes step 1 of revenge on the War Machine with the victory over Daivari. What rhymes with Jay Worthers and Farnsworth?
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with
They don't rhyme anything with Scorpio.
And it shall be for the
Unless you count rhyming Scorpio with
Tag
Scorpio.
Team Championships.
Well, we're about to take a look at a tag team, Jay Worth and Farnsworth. The back of the call to arms form, quite frankly, stole the show. It was the Burning River Brigade, Underdog 20, Matt Cross and Josh Prohibition, against the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shilling, Chris Saban. Perhaps the greatest team in wrestling today, I guess perhaps the most underrated. And it was a match that fans talking for weeks.
Challengers, and a total combined weight of 437 pounds, the team of Josh Prohibition and top 20 Matt Cross. They are the Burning River Brigade.
Two-time former IWC Tag Team Champions. They've had memorable run-ins with teams such as Southern Comfort over the years, and they could win title number 3 here tonight. And what a way to get back on the regular IWC roster than to capture the top prize. And this team has all the tools to get there. They've been all over North America, Canada, Mexico, Europe, Japan, all over the place. And IWC, one of the first places they rose to prominence. You want to talk about rising to prominence? This tag team survived months of turmoil. Home invasion, sneak attack, thumbtack, champagne bottles. The hit was out on them for several months, but they survived and came back in a steel cage to win IWC's tag team title from the nefarious Gambino family. What a war was and a call to arms, controlled chaos, thumbtacks, violence, and so much more when Babyface Fire and the Gambino family finally collided without any restrictions.
You know, you want to understand why they have the belts right now. I want to tell you a little story. So I got a call a couple weeks ago. Jimmy DeMarco invited me to a VIP club. Said he had, well, a club with a VIP lounge. He said he could get me in. Well, it ended up being his couch, but still, we're sitting there, we're drinking, and I asked, "Who do you think is the toughest guy in IWC?" And he didn't blink, he didn't hesitate. He said, Jason Gory. And I was kind of shocked by that show of respect. He said, "Look, we beat him pillar to post. We snuck into his house. We shocked him. We threw him into thumbtacks. He still keeps getting up and keeps coming back for more. He is the toughest man I've ever seen." And that toughness finally paid off as they are the IWC Tag Team Champions.
Why do you keep getting invites from people like Jimmy DeMarco and Eric Xtasy to go places?
Because I'm friendly, unlike you,
Yeah,
Joe.
that's one word for it. Joe Dombrowski and Jay Worthington Farnsworth at ringside bring you the Burning River Brigade and the ample facial hair of M-Dog 20 challenging Babyface Fire, Shiima Xion, and Jason Gory for the IWC Tag Team titles. Babyface Fire's first title defense.
And what a title defense.
Oh, without a doubt, two-time former champions. And what about that matchup we did see? Tracy Smothers was amazed here at the broadcast booth. We were all amazed. Fans voted one of the runners-up to Match of the Year when the Burning River Brigade collided with Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Gun.
It was a high-impact, fast-paced, just school of how wrestling is. That's what people want to see when they see two teams in the ring.
Should mention that M-Dog 20 has been nursing a very severe injury to his groin and leg area in recent months. You see, I believe he has it taped around that area. M-Dog 20 had to cancel, unfortunately, a lot of very high-profile bookings, Super 8 tournament, a tour of Japan, to heal up, but he's back on the comeback trail, and certainly an IWC tag title win would be a great way to come back to full-time competition, not just here in IWC, but in general, as M-Dog 20 up underneath Shiima Xion, up and over, and check out the agility of the former alternate on the U.S. Olympic gymnastic team, M-Dog 20 Matt Cross. Leg sweep by Shiima Xion now, only a count of one, as both men are back up to the vertical base.
Well, if there's anyone at the locker room who can match speed and durability with M-Dog, it's Shiima. I've been looking forward to this match all evening.
M-Dog 20 Matt Cross is called the innovator of aerial insanity, not because he needs a t-shirt slogan, but because it's true. He not only utilizes, but perfects virtually every high-risk aerial maneuver you could think of. He's studied a lot of tapes, he's wrestled a lot of top stars all over the world, and M-Dog 20 is ready to return to vengeance here. The tag is in to Josh Prohibition, who certainly does not get out of the blocks very well. Josh Prohibition is nursing a separated shoulder and a broken finger, so certainly Josh and M-Dog have been going all out in recent contests.
Absolutely. And really, you don't want to try and go into a contest like this with a list of injuries.
Not at all, but let's face it, Farnsworth, title opportunities, especially here in IWC, don't come to many too often. When that chance is there, you better take it.
Absolutely. I give him a lot of credit for competing on the injured reserve list, for lack of a better term.
Well, you got to give even more credit to Babyface Fire, because look look at the torture they've gone through in recent months. Shiima Xion almost put out of wrestling when a champagne bottle was broken over his face and eyes. Jason Gory was attacking his very own home with a taser. Exactly. And then that vile cage match. Thumbtacks. What about Shiima last November? November Pain dropped about a dozen times onto those thumbtacks, courtesy of the Gambino family.
He looked like a pincushion at the end of it.
But they persevered, they won the title. Their second reign, and a great double team in the corner to Josh Prohibition. And there is a cover and a near fall.
And while this is the start of the title reign for Babyface Fire, I feel it's very important to point out that, did you see the new glasses on Shiima? Those were awesome.
They were very
Jesse Ventura. They were very Jesse Ventura.
They were very loud and unique, certainly.
And they were very Shiima.
Very Shiima is the best way to put it.
Oh,
not something I'd wear walking down the street, but for Shiima, fits like a glove.
Well, no, because you're not a male model, Joe.
Nor should I be.
No.
Sweeney was quick to point that out earlier. As the blind tag is made, I don't think Prohibition is aware of it, but he certainly is now with the springboard drop kick by Jason Gory, who, believe it or not, may even be a hair quicker than Shiima Xion, but he only gets a count of 2.
Yeah, if there's anyone here quicker than Shiima, it's Gory.
Prohibition and M-Dog have had so many wars through the years in IWC, street fights with the original incarnation of sexual harassment, a stint in 2006 where they captured the tag team championship. It seems that just when you think M-Dog and Josh are out of the picture, if you're a tag team in IWC, they come back
with different facial hair
and in better shape, different haircuts, and in better shape and more determined than ever.
Very true. I've watched them wrestle under several different hairstyles and haircuts, and they keep getting better and better, like you said. I can't deny
by
that.
Prohibition. When you say getting better and better, you refer to their in-ring ability, not necessarily their hairstyle.
Well, both, really.
Oh. I don't know if I approve of that beard from M-Dog 20. I'm not sure.
Careful, because this is Sparta. And you just want to watch your comments there.
Well, that's very true. I have a lot of respect for M-Dog 20. Let's face it. I mean, we already do have Jake Garrett on the payroll.
Very true.
Great bridge on the Northern Lights on Jason Gory 2-0. And M-Dog 20 quick.
5 minutes has elapsed. 5 minutes.
Quick into the double chicken wing. Submission. This could be a submission move here. Not sure if he'll get it against Gory, but it's certainly going to do its damage.
And once again, talking about tough, a combination of speed and toughness. Everyone trains to see just how much damage they can do. But in a way, Gory is winning in that equation because what if it doesn't work? What if it's not enough? Gory has shown time and time again, you dish it out, he's going to take it.
Max Spill's on the outside now as M-Dog 20 Matt Cross going to send Gory for the ride into the metal ring post. No way for Gory to protect himself. He hit head first, and it may be time, Farnsworth. The flagpole press, he may be going for it. Gory's prone in position. Check out this agility.
I can do that.
You cannot. Get out of here.
I was doing it earlier.
Maybe if there was a tornado hitting. M-Dog 20, the most impressive aerial combatant in professional wrestling today for my money. How do you prepare for something like that? Never seen anywhere before except in an M-Dog 20 match.
And if you watch me do it.
Oh, face first into the buckle of Josh Prohibition, or rather the boot of Josh Prohibition, as Gory is now in the enemy corner. And Prohibition and M-Dog want to slow the tempo here. M-Dog and Josh can go all out as well. Inside cradle to a no, but I think the speed advantage would go to the younger, lighter Gory and Xion, and Gory almost got decapitated, as the saying goes, from the clothesline. Now a cover, 2-0.
Speaking of lighter, he just got lit up with that clothesline. He was spinning around like a leaf in the air. One of the problems of being a lighter competitor.
And if you're Jason Gory and Shiima Xion, how do you feel looking through these competitors that want these title opportunities if you get through Josh and M-Dog? Sexual harassment waiting in the wings. Gambino family waiting in the wings. Hollywood Balls as Gory just got dropped on that tightly enforced second ring cable. We got a lateral press, 2 and no. And think about it, Farnsworth. The Motor City Machine Guns may even want a title shot.
They definitely might. You have the Gambinos and the Hollywood Balds and sexual harassment in the wings. Who knows? We might see a Dennis Gregory and Daivari attempt. I mean, they clearly are chummy. We haven't seen them tag together yet, but
any combination of the War Machine, really. Can't forget about John McChesney. Can't forget about Sebastian Dark. And you can't forget about, certainly, CJ Sensation, who we'll see later in the broadcast, as M-Dog taunting Babyface Fire before driving Gory down with the suplex, lateral press, 2 and no. And the Burning River Brigade is certainly in firm control of the contest right now, much to the chagrin of Shiima Xion and Jason Gory.
But talking about the toughness, again, Gory, you'd think it'd be over, but he keeps kicking out. Oh, and then he gets his kidneys kicked out. Yeah.
And Josh Prohibition not looking for style points here, not looking to be pretty.
That's Shiima's job.
Well, that's very true. And Prohibition drives his head into Gory's, and I think the impact hurt Prohibition as well, but still able to get on top for the press attempt, but not going to put Gory away.
Well, he found out Gory has a hard head, which we found out from the steel cage matches.
So what about the heroic effort of Jason Gory in that cage match? Much like the heroic effort seen here, Gory out of the cage early on, but fought frantically to get back in and rescue his tag team partner. As Josh Prohibition with the STF, Gory started to move. Josh Prohibition traps him and keeps him grounded.
Jeez, he almost has his head back to his foot.
Look at the torque here. The body was not meant to bend in that way. Gory's spine could snap in two. I don't think Josh Prohibition would mind.
Shiima he realized that might have been a do or die right there. Came in and broke up the count.
Double underhook, overhead suplex by Prohibition. This could be all here, 2 and no. After the way Gory's body has been bent, the punishment and pain he has taken, Prohibition and M-Dog may be a heartbeat or two away from capturing their third IWC Tag Team title. A Gory with a low blower, desperation maneuver, but Prohibition staggers right back into the corner with M-Dog 20, and M-Dog 20 right back on top of the situation. Gory was hoping he could get a tag, but quick thinking by the Burning River Brigade.
Gory needs to get Shiima in the ring legally. He's tough, he's double tough, but I mean, you can only take so much.
Gory set for the ride, no reversal. Up and over in the Burning River Brigade. Miscommunication, the tag was made. Shiima Xion, the future of fashion, in the ring. Over around Prohibition with the takedown, and Shiima Xion is bringing that quick tempo that Babyface Fire wants, and Josh and M-Dog had tried to avoid. Cover 2.5, and Prohibition escapes. And Prohibition is checking for teeth.
Yeah, well, you're not going to find too many here at IWC.
Oh, please.
I'm serious. Look at that one. Every time he opens his mouth, it whistles.
Crystal Pistol, that's enough. Overhead neckbreaker, Shiima Xion on top, lateral press, and M-Dog 20 makes the save, intervenes in the nick of time. And now we are wrestling a Babyface Fire style match. M-Dog catches the leg. That's a Shiima Xion move right there. And a reverse suplex plants him down face first. And this is going to be all true, and Jason Gory, with what little strength he could muster up, is able to interrupt.
Oh, Jason Gory got to his feet there, and Gory might be regretting it now.
Spinning flatliner, M-Dog planted right on the forehead. And all four men in the ring. Referee's lost control. Springboard moonsault right onto the knees of M-Dog 20. And M-Dog catapults Gory over Josh's head. Great tandem offense. This is going to be it. And Shiima Xion with the interruption.
The mistake that the Burning River Brigade seems to keep making is that they don't eliminate one of the other people, one of the other people from the tag team. out of the ring before they go for a pin.
Well, this is not the style of matchup the Brigade wanted. Not at all. Shiima walks up the back of M-Dog to drop Josh with the DDT. And that's almost a move we'd see out of M-Dog 20's playbook.
Oh!
QAS! Cover 2, but M-Dog again.
Slow count. He was out of position on that one. That could have been it right there.
Gory moving too fast even for the official. As this matchup continues to break down, this is not the style of a match M-Dog and Josh were hoping for.
My apologies. I should say slow to the count there.
M-Dog with the double knees in the corner. Prohibition has Gory in a fireman's carry. Oh, boot to the head. M-Dog walks up the back of both members of Babyface Fire, and Prohibition just throws Gory on top of Xion. He's got the cover for Gory with what little he had left, with a straight kick to the back of the head, and this matchup is still going, and both teams are still alive.
They keep saving themselves. I'm amazed.
Gory flies, M-Dog flies, Shiima catches him, roll up, they got it! Babyface Fire retain the title.
Here are your winners and still IWC Tag Team Champions, Babyface Fire.
One of the most decorated tag teams in IWC history has just been downed by Jason Gory and Shiima Xion. Perhaps the feel-good story of 2007 indeed carries over into the new year and our new beginning.
It looked like M-Dog was going for a moonsault stomp there, and Shiima got himself out of the way and right into that schoolboy. Great win for the new champ here in IWC.
Gory and Xion tackle one of the best duos out there, maybe the most underrated duo out there. But what could be lying in the wings next? What is the next challenge for this inspirational tag team as Babyface Fire continue on with the goal? Well, we saw a little bit of a sample of this last month, an impromptu steel cage matchup, which saw this man lose the heavyweight championship, now a 4-time loser.
And you know that he is angry being the first man coming out right now.
Weighing in at 222 pounds, the former 4-time IWC champion and the leader of the War Machine, Gregory.
You can see the disgust and the anger in the eyes of Dennis Gregory that he is coming out as a challenger. He's not cocky. He's not nearly as arrogant as he was when he slithered into the ring at the last IWC show where he lost the belt.
Well, Norm Connor said Dennis Gregory would escape the cage with the title over Norm's dead body. And we didn't know what he meant at that point. We didn't realize he had makes up his sleeve when J-Rock betrayed Ray Rowe and crushed his title dreams. Norm Connor broke the news that Dennis Gregory had mistakenly left an open contract available that Norm Connors had filled, and filled it with none other than the Sandman.
And really, if there's one thing you got to learn in this business, you got to learn to keep track of your contracts.
Dennis Gregory, that momentary slip led to the loss of the championship.
Lights are out. You know what this means.
One of the most amazing entrances in our industry, a 5-time former ECW World Heavyweight Champion, an original representative of the hardcore style, the original hardcore icon, and he is the current reigning and defending IWC Heavyweight Champion. As you hear Gregory in the background, just confiscated Chuck Roberts' microphone. No surprise there. I believe Sandman forgot something. And you know these tactics, as there you see Sandman with the belt in hand, the IWC title parading it around the crowd, much to the chagrin of Dennis Gregory. And you know, throughout this entire entrance, Dennis Gregory's going to be in the ring, he's going to be stewing, he's going to be upset, his temper's going to be flaring, because in Dennis Gregory's mind, he's the only man, Gregory is, rightfully deserving to hold that title.
And across from him is going to be one of the toughest, meanest, just cane swinging freaks that you'd ever want to see. If he wants that title, he's going to have to go through the Sandman to get it. Think about that. Think about that. Let's say he took your car keys, and to get home, you had to go through the Sandman to get your car keys back.
Right.
What are the odds you're calling a cab?
Exactly. Now I think Sandman with the Sandman car keys is a dangerous situation for that matter.
Yeah, hopefully someone's taking the Sandman's car keys at this point.
The Sandman on his way to the ring. As he mentioned earlier, former tag team championship partner of Too Cold Scorpio in ECW. We saw Scorpio earlier tonight successfully defeating Dennis Gregory's newest charge, Daivari, despite the interference from Dennis Gregory trying to shoot Too Cold Scorpio out of 2 consecutive IWC matches.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but seriously, that was an entire beer right down his throat. And he does that how many times? Good Lord.
Too many, apparently. It's like spinach to Popeye, Jay Worth and Farnsworth. The Sandman thrives on it. Now where's he going? We lost him again. We lost the whole Sandman.
Yeah, and he left the title belt out here.
There he is. I think he had to get another beer.
Well, you know, you can't, why leave one out of that 6-pack?
Politically incorrect and damn proud of it. No other way could better describe the Sandman.
Maybe a little pickled.
That would work. And if you're an opponent of the Sandman, and you see this entire production, it's got to be at least a little bit intimidating, even if you are a 15-year veteran and 4-time champion like Dennis Gregory is.
Have you ever seen a Sandman match where the opponent did not get hit with the cane at some point?
matchup starting very fast here as Dennis Gregory and Sandman waste absolutely no time. And I believe Sandman, correct me if I'm wrong, Farnsworth, attempted to use that Singapore cane, but the referee had it taken. Roll up 2 and no.
Well, again, I'll ask you, have you ever seen a match with the Sandman where he hasn't hit someone with the cane?
Well, we may have to see one here because there are rules and regulations in IWC title matches, and unless Bobby Williams is intimidated and in fear of his own life, which he very well may be, those rules are going to be enforced in this matchup.
Well, I'm saying I've never seen one where Pac at some point hasn't pulled out the cane. So you know that's got to be sitting in the back of the mind of Dennis Gregory. I'm probably going to get hit with a cane, probably in the head.
And this may just be in the locker room. This might not even be part of the match.
Exactly.
Sandman is so reckless, so dangerous, but at the same time, so tough and has such a high pain threshold. He's one of those individuals that's just impossible to defend.
I have watched Sandman wrestle a match while he was out cold on his feet. He was concussed and had no idea what he was doing, but he was still wrestling that match.
And still swinging the cane, right?
Yeah, and still dropping people on their heads if need be.
And this is Sandman in his element here. A down and dirty brawl on the floor of the Court Time Sports Center. And Sandman, cane time? No. Referee Bobby Williams tried to intervene, and Gregory luckily got the head in. Luckily for his sake, I should say. But then again, if the Sandman's disqualified, he retains the championship. And check that out. Gregory's disqualified. He's not going to win a championship.
You figure Gregory could only intimidate and push around the ref oh so much. You know he's going to try it a little, try and gain that upper hand. But we've seen Bobby Williams has no problem in suspending someone. And I guarantee Bobby Williams will come out here and suspend someone and back up whoever it is there in the ring.
And Dennis Gregory now working on Sandman in the corner. And who would have thought that the first man to fire the Singapore cane shot in this matchup would be Dennis Gregory. And it's Gregory now choking away, I believe using his wrist tape to choke away at Sandman. This is an IWC sanctioned championship matchup, even though it may not appear to resemble one at times. Dennis Gregory looking to become the first ever in IWC history, unprecedented, 5-time IWC heavyweight champion. No one else has won that belt more than twice.
The downside of it is,
Wait, cover here, Sandman on top, just going for the left hand.
Because why let something like a pin get in the way of punching someone in the head? That's what I wanted to see. And you know he's probably ticked he can't crack him in the head with a cane.
And I think he just expressed that anger towards Bobby Williams.
Oh, here we go.
And Sandman's going to say screw it. But
come on.
I know you're disappointed, Farnsworth. We have a cover here too, and no way Gregory's going to put away Sandman that quickly. Look out. And that should be a disqualification. That should be it. Bobby Williams being far, far too lenient here, as he already took the cane from the Sandman at the outset of this match, and that's the third damn time Gregory's used the cane.
And that's Bobby Williams?
Yes.
Has yet to learn that if he just sets it daintily in the corner, Dennis Gregory's going to go back and pick it up.
That's a fourth time, damn it!
Maybe toss it out of the ring. Maybe, Bob.
And another cover, but Sandman still keeps kicking out. He's taken 3 blunt blows right to the top of the head, and he's still getting up. And that's going to be number 4. Noah duck. Sandman, look out here.
Uh-oh.
White Russian leg sweep. That's how he won the title last month. And Bobby Williams, again, angrily putting the cane in the corner. This could be all no. 2.5, maybe a little more, but not quite 3. And you had to have expected this type of match going into things. But Bobby Williams trying to assert his authority, and it's not going to work as Sandman has the cane again. And again, Williams forces it out of the hand of the Sandman. Another side Russian leg sweep, and Sandman just got the win.
Oh, look out, look out!
And wait, whoa, Daivari A back jumper aiding Dennis Gregory. This matchup is over. Sandman retains the title. And Daivari with a second straight assault on our reigning title holder. And Gregory has got the Singapore cane. Oh no. Dennis Gregory getting hit, Sandman. Wait a second. Too Cold Scorpio, longtime friend and partner of Sandman, hits the ring for the second straight month, and Gregory and Daivari bail.
Yeah, wouldn't you run if you saw Scorpio coming at you with the cane?
No doubt about it. And it looks like the bad blood between the Scorpio Sandman camp and Dennis Gregory, Daivari, and the War Machine just continues to escalate. Daivari claiming Gregory should be the real champion. That is not the case. The Sandman pulls through again, survives several shots to the head with his own cane, and retains the title, but clearly it had its price as the Sandman is hurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest is still IWC champion, the Sandman.
Well, Daivari and Dennis Gregory better devise a plan B, or maybe we're on plan C by now, because tonight was unsuccessful. Gregory does not capture the title for the 5th time, and the Sandman wants his championship belt. And the stock title win of 2007 will see another day. The Sandman beats Dennis Gregory. What does Gregory have to do, Farnsworth? Where does he go from here?
Well, apparently he comes back down. Maybe we'll find out.
Getting in the face of Chuck Roberts. We've seen more than our share of that in the past several weeks and months. I'm not sure what he's protesting about. Can't be the cane. Lord knows Gregory used it twice as much as Sandman did. And Sandman almost got a shot at Daivari. And let's hear from our reigning champion.
Yo, you ever wrestled a couple jabronis before? Jabroni, you understand? I thought me and you were friends. I see now it's a little bit different like that. And I don't, you know what? I don't even know if the guy's name might just be. I know he used to have this belt, and I know this belt's mine now. But, listen, you know what? You don't even got your wrestling boots on. I think I might have brought the rib boots on. Let's take them on right now.
Are we going to see it? Impromptu tag match. Sandman's in.
Let's do this.
Scorpio's in.
He's going to wrestle in flip-flops.
Well, let's see if Dennis Gregory and Daivari will oblige to the challenge.
Sandman, in case you ain't sure who laid the ass whooping on you, everyone here knows you're either a wannabe or a Gregory. Dennis Gregory did, and I call the shots. And we ain't gonna do this tonight. We're gonna do this on my time.
Oh, wow.
You two and us two next month.
We see the true nature of Dennis Gregory and Daivari now as they back up from the challenge. But it looks like next month, except no limitations, we'll see it.
You say your name is Gregory who? Did I not quite get that? But I do understand. This right here? This right here? This is the shit, nigga! This right here? If you know what I'm saying? All you got to do, baby, is come and get some. And sign your name to the bottom line if you want an old fashioned B-Town butt chicken.
Sandman and Scorpio apparently colliding with Dennis Gregory and Daivari next month here at the Four-Time Sports Center for Sentinel limitations. But right now, the Sandman celebrates with his longtime ally Scorpio, still IWC Heavyweight Champion. IWC's New Beginning 2008 keeps on rolling. About to enter the ring, a member of the War Machine, the Snapshot CJ Sensation. For many, many months, he was petitioning to get back into in-ring competition. Norm Connors, his longtime friend, dating back to when CJ was 14, said it's not safe because you have a surgically repaired, very weakened neck that's susceptible to punishment. CJ turned his back on Norm, joined up with Dennis Gregory in order to get what he wanted, but really what he wanted may end up as a detriment, because you want to talk about in-ring danger? No one personifies that more than the Havana Pitbull, former IWC champion Ricky Reyes.
His opponent, making his way towards the ring, he weighs at 210 pounds,
Ricky Reyes was royally screwed out of the IWC title numerous times by the War Machine. And CJ Sensation has been in the pocket of the War Machine for many, many months. Reyes has some long-standing retribution on his mind here, because Reyes valued that heavyweight title like no other, Farnsworth.
Well, you know, there's an old proverb, Chinese proverb, I believe. Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Well, CJ begged and pleaded and wanted and prayed and wished, and lo and behold, he ended up back in the ring wrestling. Unfortunately, it's against Ricky Reyes, who may, as the crowd is chanting, may just kill him.
Well, that's certainly a possibility, as CJ Sensation has not wrestled a full-time professional wrestling schedule in almost 5 years, Farnsworth. Ricky Reyes, meanwhile, is diligently training in the gym every day. An ungodly amount of push-ups, of squats, of weight training, of ring time. And it's just such a contrast here when Reyes practically lives in between that squared circle, and CJ Sensation has been rather sporadic in recent years. How is CJ Sensation going to counteract with the abilities of Ricky Reyes? No disrespect to Sensation, but he just may be a bit outmatched.
Well, as I stated, were it me,
Shoulders are down here.
I'd probably poke him in the eye.
And make him mad?
No, well, I'd keep poking him in the eye. If that doesn't work, there's always the great equalizer, if you know what I mean.
Well, that's very true.
You know?
I got you. Yes, thank you, sir.
No problem.
A deep side headlock with a wide stance by the Rottweiler Ricky Reyes, a man who proudly wore the IWC title for many, many months, defended against Homicide, Low-Key, Brent Albright, Larry Sweeney, Shirley Doe, and so many others. And Reyes up and over. CJ attempts to leapfrog Reyes, puts on the brakes. Pat O'Connor roll by the Snapshot. Couldn't get enough of his own weight on top of Reyes and could not get a fall attempt. And now CJ, Mahi Straw action here, trying to end the matchup early. I think CJ realizes that if it's a match of endurance, Ricky Reyes will indeed be victorious. CJ looking for a quick win.
There's no way he's going to be able to match Ricky Reyes in endurance at this point. And he knows the longer this match goes, the less chance he has of being able to put him away.
CJ gonna fly with a somersault plancha. And that is the high-risk offense that originally propelled the then kid Sensation to become one of the best in the Pittsburgh area. CJ attempting to relive and recapture that moniker tonight to rise back to the top of professional wrestling in Western Pennsylvania. But what a roadblock he has in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a daunting task to overcome Ricky Reyes when you don't have anything wrong with you. The surgically repaired neck is definitely going to be a problem.
And that swinging neck breaker by Ricky Reyes may be a little uncomfortable to watch, but as hard as it is to say, it is smart strategy in this environment.
I have no love lost for CJ Sensation, as you know, but that doesn't mean I want to see him get his neck broke again.
We've seen Ricky Reyes have a couple of recent high-impact battles with the 2007 IWC Newcomer of the Year, Davey Richards. They traded wins against one another, and they're at neck bites, just torquing away at that surgically repaired neck, getting a little uncomfortable. But what about the offense and the impact we saw between Ricky Reyes and Davey Richards that are called arms for, both men defeating each other with that Kimura lock that both men have been specializing in?
Yeah, two of the best matches I've ever seen in IWC. What a great pairing of talent in the ring.
Continuing to bend away at the neck now.
Yeah, well, we were wondering, just what kind of test CJ's neck would be able to take. We're finding out here. I mean, so far, you can tell it's hurting him, but it doesn't seem to be doing any significant long-term damage. He's moving.
Reyes. Again, focusing, point of the elbow driven into the back of that neck. And I think CJ Sensation is going to learn very, very quickly here, if he hasn't already, that Reyes will show no remorse, have no compassion, regardless of who you are in that ring. He's there to compete, especially when there's a personal vendetta in the past, as there is in the case of CJ Sensation's blatant allegiance with Dennis Gregory.
Yeah, Reyes doesn't need a reason to rip your arm out of its socket or head off your shoulders. He'll do it just because, just to show that he can. Pissing him off is just going to make it hurt even more when he finally gets around to ripping that limb off, or that head off, or whatever he's opting to take off of you.
And CJ Sensation certainly on the defensive here, as Reyes just methodically wearing away at the snapshot. And I do know, Mr. Farnsworth, Sebastian Dark not in attendance here tonight. Brent Albright not in attendance. Dennis Gregory certainly had his troubles earlier tonight, as did Daivari. CJ Sensation may be the lone wolf at this point.
Well, very true, very true. Sebastian Dark actually down enjoying his birthday in an undisclosed location, but let's just say
he's with Eric Young?
Much better weather. As a matter of fact, he is.
Well, they do both like to drink beer quite a bit. Wait, there's a cover. I think CJ got dropped right. Hopefully not on his
brain buster.
And look at the
5 minutes has elapsed. 5 minutes.
Look at the scowl on the face of Ricky Reyes as he couldn't believe this was over.
Speaking of drinking beer and Sebastian Dark, on a completely unrelated note, I know Sebastian has openly issued a beer drinking challenge against our heavyweight champion. That may be the death of Sebastian Dark.
That may be a double disc set. I don't think we have that kind of time in a standard broadcast. As Reyes, now with the head scissors, and he's not only taking away the oxygen, but he's also crimping the neck. And a hook of the leg gets a count of 2. And all of Reyes' focus has been on that neck, which is certainly, without question, the weakest point on CJ's body.
Oh, yeah. If you're looking for a weak point, if you're looking for that target, it's right there. A little homework. If you didn't know, I'm sure someone told him.
Reyes, and it's a term we've used before, but it definitely applies to Reyes as well, a student of the game. And now Reyes on top, lateral press, does not feel the need to hook the leg, which would have upset Tracy Smothers, but be that as it may, CJ Sensation is able to escape. A straight boot right to the face.
Oh.
Nothing pretty about it.
Welcome back to the ring, CJ.
Certainly effective.
Look, we talk about the wrestling ability, about the training, about the cardio, but honestly, the other thing, let's not discount the fact that Ricky Reyes can throw some damage. He's not above some strikes. He has no problem just beating you. As you can see here, he's climbing the turnbuckle, and it looks like he might be going for a tornado DDT. No, tossed off. Oh! And CJ showing why he wanted back in the game. A huge super kick, and giving himself finally a chance to rest, recover, catch his breath a little.
Well, that was a desperation tactic by CJ Sensation, but exactly what he needed at this point in the contest, as Reyes' systematic dissection of CJ Sensation, you gotta believe, was almost complete.
Almost being the key term there. And now CJ finally, you know, getting a chance to rest, getting a chance to heal some stuff. Oh!
Jawbreaker, but that put more pressure down on CJ's neck. You got to be careful of that in the corner with a forearm.
But it got Reyes away from him, which is what he needed.
Into the buckle goes CJ Sensation. Reyes gonna charge in right into an elbow. And CJ maybe looking to go for the kill here. Tornado DDT, nicely done. Is that what? CJ not going for an attempted cover though. Look out. Cross body from the top. He's got him down. 2.5. Ricky Reyes again escapes. The former IWC champion will not go down.
Well, I'll give it to,
Kidnapper coming up. Look out. He dropped him. That's going to be all here. Kidnapper, 3 count. CJ pulling upset. No, Reyes escapes from CJ Sensation's signature maneuver.
all those hours in the gym, all that training, all that cardio, you're seeing why it paid off now. Kicking out of the kidnapper is no easy thing, let me tell you.
Reyes just jumps up. Amazing vertical leap with the Enziguri kick.
Oh, huge knee to the mush.
With swan-like grace. And the Ricky Reyes trademark quickness drops him on his head, 2.5 again. And Reyes right back to the neck. CJ's burst of offense here. CJ's near fall, CJ being a half second away from pinning Reyes, has not distracted Reyes from his original strategy.
And, you know, CJ can't be looking for any mercy at this point. We've watched Reyes beat people unconscious. We've watched Reyes tap people out. He can't rest.
Oh, wait a second. Kidnap one more time. Reyes can't survive 2. No way, no how. 3. Good night. This has got to be it. He's got to cover. 2. No, Reyes got out again.
He kicked out again.
How is this possible?
You want to understand why he was an IWC champion? You're looking at it right there. That's determination. That's strength. That's a fortitude that you don't see every day.
Ricky Reyes may be indestructible.
He can barely stand.
Oh, wait a second. Scoop into the sleeper. Body to his lock. Dragon sleeper. This is all tap out or pass out. No one survives the Dragon sleeper.
And with his neck bent back like that, you know CJ Sensation could not handle that for too long.
The torque being placed on that neck made the Dragon sleeper a perfect strategy for Reyes to go to. He worked on the neck the entire matchup, and by the time he cinched in that Dragon sleeper, CJ Sensation was just racked with so much pain. There was no way to fend off from the grasp of the Rottweiler, as Ricky Reyes picks up the victory here tonight. And you gotta believe, still in the future, Ricky Reyes is not only the rest of the War Machine, but also that rubber match with Dave Richards. CJ Sensation noticeably frustrated by the outcome of this matchup, which is understandable. And it looks like one member of IWC Security not going to be intimidated by CJ Sensation here. Obviously, CJ in the heat of battle wanted to return to singles competition with a win, but it looks like CJ Sensation will have to have another day.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please join me in welcoming one half of the Cleveland Mafia,
One of the most shocking moments in IWC history. Ray Rowe was mere inches away from escaping the cage door and capturing the IWC title when his tag team partner, trainer, and best friend of over 2 years, the Big Daddy of Destruction, J-Rock, stabbed Ray Rowe in the back with a vicious, vile shot with the steel cage door that hit Ray Rowe's head so hard it literally knocked the door off of its hinges. Why did J-Rock stab Ray Rowe in the back? Why did J-Rock pick the biggest night in Ray Rowe's entire career to do it? What statement is he making? Is it jealousy? Is it ego? Why has J-Rock done what he has done? Why has he disbanded the team he has built for 2 years? Tonight, the Cleveland Mafia explodes, and hopefully, J-Rock explains himself. And J-Rock is also Farnsworth brandishing a steel chair, and I never like the looks of that.
Well, I gotta be honest, if I'm getting into a ring to confront Ray Rowe after stabbing him in the back, I'd probably be looking for something stronger than a steel chair. I'd probably go with a gun, possibly a sword, maybe even bring a ninja with me. A ninja with a sword.
Well, J-Rock crossed a line he cannot ever renege on. J-Rock shattered his professional relationship with Ray Rowe, and now he may have to deal with the consequences. And yes, folks, it may be a casualty.
J-Rock, if I may. No, Jerry. I've known you a long time. You were the guy that brought me to Cleveland. You've now chosen Cleveland thanks to you. It's the way you always treated me. It's the way you treat a lot of guys in that locker room. But certainly there's one guy you treated better than anybody else because he is your brother. Of course, I'm talking about Ray Rowe. 1 month ago, right here, a call to arms. Steel cage door comes off of its hinges and almost puts Ray Rowe on the shelf. Not to mention, he loses a title shot that he's been busting his butt, that you've helped him with for the past 2 years, and especially last year in 07. Why in the world would you do that to a brother? Why would you do that to Ray Rowe?
Yeah, what about the master plan, J-Rock? What about the hatred in Ray Rowe's eyes after he realized what you've done?
2 years, I have helped fight your battles, I've high-fived your kids, and I've signed all your autographs and been your friends. I think the least I deserve is 5 minutes to explain myself.
Well, that's what we definitely need.
Chuck, you're not the only one. I've had people here tonight. I've gotten emails on my website. Everybody wants to know, J-Rock, why? Why did you slam the door on Ray Rowe's head? You people want to know why, huh? It's plain and simple. 2 years ago, I was at a crossroads of my career here in the IWC. It could have gone either way, but I have been up and down this country, and the IWC was giving me a little bit of trouble finding my way. But then January 2 years ago, A New Beginning to be exact, I came across someone that not one of you looked twice at that night. He lost, he got beat by Sterling James Keenan. Nobody here cared about him, nobody in the back. Norm Connors, you couldn't have crapped less about Ray Rowe. But I saw something that you ended up calling the baddest man in IWC. No, check that. I called him the baddest man in IWC. And everything was going along fine. And whether you like me or not, you cannot deny that the Cleveland Mafia not only dominated, but revolutionized tag team wrestling here in IWC. Every time you
J-Rock sabotaged Rose's match with Joe?
And you fans kept pumping Reyes' ego more and more.
Rosie.
Less and less was said about the Cleveland Mafia. But because he was my brother, because he was my partner, I coached him, I trained him, and I got him ready to be IWC champion. And you all wanted it. And you know that if I didn't turn my back on Reyes, he would have beat Gregory last month. And he would be the champion right now. But you know what, Reyes? When I was standing right there outside this door with the belt in my hand and you 3 inches from victory, I don't know, maybe it was the feel of being the champion again. Maybe I remembered what I'm all about. But Reyes, I had to do what I had to do because I'm all about some me, Daddy. So Reyes, you wonder if I've thought about 2 years of friendship, 2 years of blood brothers, 2 years of partnership. I have thought about it. And you know what I regret the most? I regret ever letting you spend one single solitary get in here, Marcus, because I know Reyes watching. 1 minute of my time with you, you worthless piece of trailer park, no talent self. You are garbage, Reyes.
Wait a second. We got company. Reyes hit the ring, and it's time for a Cleveland Mafia explosion. Oh, J-Rock with a chair a second time. Look out! A knockout shot to the head, and Reyes didn't flinch. And the Cleveland Mafia has officially exploded. The explanation does not sit well with Reyes, the man who betrayed him out of ego, out of jealousy, and we got big problems out here. We gotta get this stopped. Reyes may attempt to murder J-Rock in the center of our ring. We need people out here. And if I were J-Rock, I would retreat.
But he's not. He realizes he has lit the fuse on.
Look out, Rose free! Roll with the vaulting knee strike. Everybody's wiped out. Reyes' controlled aggression can be controlled no more. What, J-Rock into the back. Get a camera back there. Get a camera to the back. Do we have somebody standing by? Follow this.
Turn the mic on.
Well, Reyes spent that entire shot. And the fight is on. Reyes with a death stare right through J-Rock throughout that entire interview, that entire diatribe. And February 16th, Reyes will accept no limitations. When it comes to J-Rock, Reyes will avenge the biggest betrayal in the history of his professional or personal life.
I don't want to.
They're not alone.
Introducing to you first, the manager, Brigade Gambino,
Harassment, Farnsworth, will you check out this entourage? Vicky Gambino leads the way. The extra muscle Vendetta. The flunkies, Flexer and Ferrari. Of course, Mickey and Marshall Gambino as well. And who could forget the designated pervert of the bunch, Delicious Jimmy DeMarco.
Yeah, honestly, this is a numbers game here, isn't it? And a smart move by the Gambinos.
Not a very legal one,
yeah.
But then again, they do a lot of illegal things, don't they? In and out of the ring.
They haven't broken a rule yet. Speaking of illegal.
And notice Vendetta in the background of Chuck Roberts brandishing that baseball bat they tried to assault Michael Facade with earlier.
Tried, I'm pretty sure he did.
Sexual harassment had quite the weekend at a call to arms. Not only did they have a memorable confrontation where they defeated Southern Comfort, Tracy Smothers and Chris Hamrick, and what was perhaps one of the most well-remembered dance-offs in wrestling history between Eric Xtasy and Tracy Smothers. But they also had quite the showing at our first ever 5-corner tag match.
I don't know that I can comment on that.
You seem to enjoy sitting with them for a while when we were in the mid-corner.
I don't think that was enjoyment in my eyes.
Maybe we could be a corner in this match. I can petition for it.
Nope.
You sure?
No.
All right.
No. Let me say it in Spanish. No.
You're sending me mixed messages.
Now hold on just a second. Before we talk about YouTube queers, we had a little problem with a queer over here. I got $100 that says you don't have the balls to get in this ring, you little faggot.
Uh-oh.
I dare you to get in this ring for $100.
Let's offend some more sponsors and fans.
I will not. All the teeth out of your man if you got that. Your little boyfriend will be so upset if you know your teeth knocked out, you little faggot.
Views of the Gambinos do not reflect those of IWC management.
Don't tell me to be punching me. Mickey. Yeah, we got 2 mics now. We're like, but listen, like, I hate to burst your bubble, but this dude will probably kick your ass. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm serious. I hate the Gambinos really, really bad, and I want to beat you up, but that's cool. I'll believe that. Oh, what a shame. This microphone doesn't work. Hey, I got something in my hand, it works, buddy. Listen up. You come out here and you talk like you're some sort of sex symbol, and you know all that cutesy little music. You're so ugly, birch flaps upside down, get off the shit on you. And same with you too, Pop.
I will once again apologize for Mickey Gambino. That may be a running theme.
Hey, like I said, I love to kick the crap out of both you guys, but I feel awfully bad beating you up in front of your mother.
Oh. The sister, Vicky Gambino, did not appreciate that.
So, this being an election year and all, I just want to take a quick survey of the audience here. How many of you guys support sexual harassment?
He did say election with an L, right?
And on the flip side, they support sexual harassment. Hey, on the flip side, how many of you people support the Gambino brothers?
You and all your friends, Farnsworth.
I know which side of the bread I don't get my teeth knocked out on, okay?
Who at this point supports the Gambinos?
Will you have some journalistic integrity, please?
Are you gonna protect me? No.
Not on your life.
Wait a minute, just to clarify things, because I think I'm gonna have ear infections. Who here is out of their mind enough to support sexual harassment? You know what? Enough of this, enough talking. We're taking you two out tonight.
Well, Farnsworth, that was another unique verbal altercation involving sexual harassment. Do you have any thoughts?
No.
Referee Stephen Don't Call Me Ralphie Coulter sounds for the bell, and Justin Idol going to start out with Marshall the Bull Gambino. Talonebo tie up center ring, and it seems that all of sexual harassment's problems are behind them. We saw them score big in the 5-way matchup at a Call to Arms 4 Night 1. And it seems like ever since that sexual harassment has started becoming successful, and Eric Xtasy is kind of, let's say, barricading some of that comedic / eccentric behavior, it seems Justin Idol's become a little more lighthearted and in a good mood as well. It seems sexual harassment may be on the trail to the tag team titles that Idol has craved since he entered IWC.
They've sort of met halfway. Justin, a little more jovial, and Eric a little less Eric.
The crowd is accusing Vicky Gambino of possessing some not too friendly, well, maybe some overly friendly diseases. Do you have any comment on that?
I'm sure she's a perfectly virtuous girl.
Idol in the corner with kicks on Marshall Gambino, and the Gambinos still irate over losing their tag team titles. They are 4-time tag champions, by the way. Idol head of steam, but he gets lands on his feet. That agility overpowered the strength of Marshall Gambino. Can he take the big man down? Takes away that vertical base, attempts to at least. Marshall's at least 280, and he just got dropped. Tag to Mickey, and you gotta believe a win for either team here puts them right in line for Babyface Fire and the IWC Tag Team title. And what a great matchup either of those altercations would make.
Absolutely. Uh-oh. But now nice guy Mickey has to face the bisexual bulldozer.
Yeah. The even nicer guy, Eric Xtasy. Xtasy, well, I guess that's not the kiss of death, but maybe signifying something else.
That's the... I'm not allowed to say what kind of kiss that is.
And if Mickey Gambino thought he had problems amongst the IWC faithful here at the 4-time Sports Center, they're about to get a whole lot worse with Eric Xtasy and Justin Idol. And Mickey Gambino trying to neutralize Xtasy here.
Speaking of the kisses, I got a box in the mail from Eric for Christmas. I thought he was sending me cookies when he said he was sending me Crisco kisses. It wasn't cookies. If he offers you Crisco kisses, refuse.
Should we just stop that right there? How do you always end up in these situations?
I want to know how I got the stain out of the carpet. What was in the box, Joe?
Hiplock takeover. Xtasy. Scoop slam. Eric, who, if sexual harassment cannot win the tag titles, may have, there's your, did you teach him that? One of those late night sessions in a hotel room?
No. You make it sound so perverted.
You've got tendencies,
We've reached an accord. With the new year,
Well, Idol has been tagged in by Mickey Gambino. I think Justin Idol's been hanging around Eric too much. I've used this pun before, but it bears repeating that Eric is seemingly rubbing off on Justin Idol.
That's not a pun. That's called a double entendre. It's something completely different.
Oh. What did you think I meant that?
I'm not going to get into it. I'm not taking it into a single entendre.
Get your mind out of the gutter. And Eric Xtasy, I'm not sure if he was tripped or not, but he's claiming as such. And there goes the family.
They've just angered Vendetta.
The family reunion has been dismembered and dismantled. Jimmy DeMarco throwing a conniption fit.
I guarantee he smashes every chair in the back.
Well, then,
ladies and gentlemen, referee Stephen Coulter has informed me that if the Hollywood Bugs and the entourage don't leave ringside immediately, he will award the bout to sexual harassment.
so the family's got to go, or it's an automatic disqualification. And I'm not sure the family did anything yet, I underscore. But it seems like Eric Xtasy is basically getting to them before they get to him.
Watch them skulk off like a bunch of gypsies, tramps, and thieves, Joe. They are just upset that they have to leave.
Have you and Eric been listening to Share Records again?
Oh!
Great double team offense. In the ring, Xtasy and Idol catch the Gambinos off guard.
There's nothing wrong with Cher.
And if the Gambinos could turn back time, I'm sure they'd wish for their entourage back, but that won't be happening right now. Idol with a punch into the floor.
5 minutes has elapsed. 5 minutes.
And what is Eric Xtasy going to do? Well, hopefully more after that. A running, a charging, a flying.
Not flying.
Step through the ropes.
He ducked. It was smart. Smack to the back of the head.
Followed through Idol with the somersault senton. And in some weird, bizarre, unexplainable way, sexual harassment is working very, very well together.
They are separating the teams and working on them.
And Idol wants some of our ringside fans to get some cheap shots in.
Don't hit her. You don't put your hand. Oh.
Well, that's not going to do it. Well, now I don't think she's going to slap Justin, and I think she had a sexual harassment T-shirt on. But Mickey Gambino inciting another near Ryan here. Well, you won't hit any home runs that way, but you might get a decent bunt or two as Mickey Gambino hits the post, which I think makes up for it. This is one of the few times where Eric Xtasy is not the most feminine thing in this match.
Very true.
And Marshall Gambino being held by fans. Oh, Lord. Farnsworth, turn away. Look away, Farnsworth. No. No, your eyes. Chairs are falling. It's chaos back here. Farnsworth, please don't vomit on my suit. What? Farnsworth, was that disgust or jealousy? I'm not sure, but in the ring, Mickey Gambino's on Justin Idol.
I need some air.
It's getting hot in here.
I'm gonna yak. Oh, come on, there are rules against that.
Marshall Gambino is, I think, frozen scared in his place. He has no idea what to do right now.
He figured it was a wrestling match. He didn't figure this is what he'd be wrestling with.
Well, yeah, that's not exactly in the Luthez playbook. And Mickey Gambino going to make sexual harassment pay for it. Idol comes back though, ducking the clothesline. Mickey drops him down. And in a matchup where there's a potential future tag title shot looming, would you ever think that the matchup could have taken a tone like this?
Well, sexual harassment was involved, so I'd say yes. I can't say I'm that surprised.
Hammerlock applied by Mickey Gambino as Mickey tries to get the psychological edge back in the Gambino favor as Marshall Gambino is just trying to get the taste out of his mouth.
I think I have a little bile in mine.
Maybe it tastes like Crisco, I don't know.
Oh, come on.
And Mickey with the Farnsworth patented eye poke. And he's feeling pretty good about himself now, but certainly not as good as he would if he were still one half of the tag team champions. Eric Xtasy baited into the ring by Mickey Gambino, allowing Marshall with the leg drop. Should mention Mickey Gambino is still at ringside. She does have a manager's license, unlike the Balls and the Flunkies, so certainly she's allowed to stay at ringside as long as she minds her own business.
Yeah, and she keeps looking over at me. She needs to concentrate on the match and not get distracted.
I think she heard the rumors about you and Eric.
I think she heard the rumors that I am Twisted Steel and Sex Appeal,
Well,
Sunshine.
I think those rumors are very unfounded.
I'm all man. All man.
Then why'd you call me Sunshine? Marshall Gambino with a side Russian leg sweep, and Justin Idol is dropped hard as Marshall Gambino, all that Kiss did, other than give Eric a few jollies, was kick Marshall Gambino off.
Yeah, it also made me cough up my soft pretzel from the intermission. Oh, God.
Oh, you colleagues of mine are your soft pretzels. Marshall Gambino sends Idol for the ride across the ring, elevates him up and over. Belly-to-belly type throw, and Eric Xtasy is starting to have second thoughts about some of his machinations from earlier. Lateral press, but Eric gets involved to break up the fall.
And now the Gambinos playing the game that they play so well.
Oh, look at Vicky.
Separate and destroy.
Choking Idol against that bottom rope. And Idol is certainly the worst for wear. How is sexual harassment going to get the tide back in their favor here? Even though the ejection of the family already took place,
10 minutes has elapsed. 10 minutes.
it's still 3-on-2.
It absolutely is. And smart for the Gambinos.
And Marshall is daring Eric Xtasy to get involved.
How the hell am I supposed to call that? What? Call that. Come on.
A psychological tactic by Marshall Gambino as he rams his pelvic bone into the gluteus muscles of Justin Idol in an attempt to psychologically torment Eric Xtasy and make him jealous. This is Xtasy had tormented Marshall, and children, please leave the room. Nice bulldog by Justin Idol as a wrestling match is broken out somewhere in this.
He humped him. He humped him. And now he's paying for it. Look at this. Hump, 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 hump. Say it, Joe.
But he did it in a psychological way.
He did it in a physical way. He didn't just imply humping through Rorschach tests.
Vicky Gambino pulls Xtasy off the apron. Well, he got in Xtasy's head, and I'm not gonna finish that sentence because it was a really bad pun about what he did to Idol. But I'll tell you what, Vicky Gambino is helping the double team.
That's not where he got into Idol. Oh my God.
Head of steam, look out, miscommunication, and Eric Xtasy is the legal man. Double lady killer takes the Gambinos down. Eric Xtasy is a House of Flamers centering. And I don't think anything has flip-flopped and flown on Dusty Rhodes like it has on Eric Xtasy, but the Gambinos able to cut him off at the pass. And Idol, with a cross body, takes down both men. Sexual harassment still alive here in a 2-on-2 environment.
And now 2-on-1 as Marshall goes to the side there.
Double team. Knee strike, backbreaker, combo for 2.5, and sexual harassment a half a second away from moving up in the IWC tag title rank. Check this out, Xtasy drops him with the stunner and Idol with the boot to the head. And check this out, Eric with the spear. Idol, knee right to the back of the head. Marshall Gambino, dazed and confused. This could be all here. Harassment wins, no.
Almost got the win with that Inzu Shining Wizard.
15 minutes has elapsed. 15 minutes.
The ring positioning allowed Marshall to get the hand on the bottom rope as we're 15 minutes deep into this match.
Oh!
Mickey's attempted powder backfired. Idol kicked it into Mickey's own face.
All that vacuuming for nothing.
Idol measures him. Well, there you go, Farnsworth. The double bird into Spirit Crusher coming up. This could be all here. Harassment with the lateral press. Leg is hooked. Mickey's out. And Vicky Gambino pulled the foot.
Vicky had to make sure that did not happen. And that was the end right there.
Sexual harassment had been screwed out of the win, and Vicky Gambino is running for her life, and Marshall intercepted.
He knocked him inside out with that.
And Vicky Gambino with a cheap shot on the outside, as right now the Gambino family is back in charge. Thanks to Vicky Gambino's very, very illegal involvement.
Oh, she doesn't care about the legality of it. She cared about the outcome.
Choke slam coming up on 280. Highly unlikely. Oh, look out! A low blow. Are you telling me Coulter didn't see that?
Maybe he missed it.
How blind can he be? What the hell was he looking at there?
Well, there's talcum powder in the ring. There's guys kissing guys. Good Lord, there's a lot to distract him.
Another near
He
fall.
just did a 2 count and look at it. It's like the ring's burning.
Well, how do you miss Vicky Gambino with a blatant low blow? And Justin Idol didn't miss it. And it's time for Vicky Gambino to get some comeuppance. Is he gonna hit her? No. Vicky, into Vicky, roll up, Idol, got down here, fall. Can you believe this match?
I quit believing that this actually happened about 5-10 minutes ago. And until I get an emergency session with my psychiatrist, I refuse to believe any of this is real.
I do not doubt that for one instant. Look out.
Oh!
Backbreaker, spine buster onto the knees of Mickey. We have a cover. We have 2, and the Idol kicks out. What is it going to take to keep either of these teams down in an all-out war, and another indication of what the tag titles mean?
I hope it's not more kissing.
I would somehow doubt that.
I am happy to see that they have now resorted to just beating the crap out of each other.
It may be the curse of the Gambino. Check this out. Mickey Gambino up top, but Michael the Bomber Facade. Retribution for earlier tonight. They tried to injure Facade, and Facade sends a message. In return, choke slam to 280. Xtasy with the cover, and another near fall. But Facade gets a measure of revenge for earlier in the broadcast.
And now we're back into it's anyone's game.
Super kick. Mickey staggering. Oh, wait a second. Could be time for the Rose Creeper. Sexually transmitted driver position. Xtasy has Mickey. Idol from the top. Rose Creeper drops him on the top of his head. This will be all here. Xtasy with the cover. 2. And sexual harassment. Emerge victorious.
What a hard-fought victory.
Farnsworth, it was one of those matches where you saw a little bit of everything, including the things you never ever wanted to see in your life. We hoped so. But in the end, Eric Xtasy and Justin Idol, sexual harassment, with a little bit of help from Michael Facade, survived the numbers game, survived Mickey Gambino, survived Powder, survived it all to score another huge victory. And ever since reforming some months ago, sexual harassment has been undefeated, has been unstoppable.
And you figure they have to be, at least in the eyes of the booking committee, worthy of a title shot at this point.
Babyface Fire better watch their backs in more ways than one, because sexual harassment may be, just maybe, the next contenders to the tag title throne. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Super Indy qualifying match coming up.
Is a Super Indy 7 qualifying match set for 1-5 with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing to you first, he's got a street value of $31 million, and he is from Chocolate City, Ruckus.
For those that may not know, this is Ruckus. Some of you may recognize him from his stint on MTV and Wrestling Society X. Many of you will remember him from Super Indy 6 back in 2007, when some say he had a show-stealing quarterfinal round matchup with Shiima Xion. And Ruckus is back to attempt to compete in Super Indy 7. It will be a Destiny of Dreams coming up this spring, indeed. And Super Hentai, somebody who really created that dream, won the first Super Indy tournament in 2002, put the Super Indy title on the map, and here, some 6 years later, hopes to do it all again.
His opponent, weighs in at 175 pounds. He trained in Hayabusa, Japan. He is Super Hentai.
Well, in contrast to Ruckus's show-stealing matchup with Shiima Xion at Super Indy 6, Super Hentai was part of a more dubious moment at Super Indy 6. A disrespectful and quite frankly embarrassing showing from Brother Run ended in Super Hentai's Super Indy night not going the way he had planned at all. And Hentai did make it to the semifinals, had a great match with Shiima Xion. But Super Hentai no doubt wants to represent the Super Indy tournament with pride and respect and dignity. I don't have that chance this year.
So I just need to point out, Super Indy 1 winner was
Super Hentai.
How long did he hold the belt?
About a week and a half short of 1 year.
And yet he needs to qualify for the tournament. If there's anyone that deserves to be in that tournament, it's Super Hentai.
Well, that is very, very true. And certainly his reputation speaks for itself. Took that Super Indy Championship to Japan in 2002. Made it an international noteworthy championship. And now Ruckus and Hentai starting on the mat here, feeling each other out early on. And earlier tonight, we already saw one qualifier for the Super Indy tournament, and that was Balls Hot Troy Lords. And wouldn't it be very poetic if Super Hentai could be number 2 based on their history?
Yeah, in effect, what we're looking at is the 2 guys that lost to Shiima Xion at the last
Very true.
Super Indy.
Very true indeed. And look at this. Win agility by Ruckus, takes him down with the head scissors. Super Hentai comes back with one of his own. And I'll tell you what, Ruckus joined an elite list of a lot of guys we've seen pass through IWC. Low Key, Southern Comfort, Chris Sabin, Davey Richards, who really won the crowd over by leaps and bounds in just one appearance, just one match. And it's so great to finally have him back here, because Ruckus, as far as aerials go, is among the best in this world today. You talk about M-Dog 20 earlier, we'll talk about Ruckus on that list as well.
Absolutely, what a high flyer.
And how seamlessly and gracefully he can execute those maneuvers. But right now, Ruckus knows the reputation of Hentai as well, knows he can fly as well, so trying to keep things rather basic for the early moments of this contest.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is the first time they've ever faced each other, ever.
To my knowledge, it is. Hentai with a drop kick, nicely done. And when you look at the past tournament winners, men like Hentai, like Colt Cabana, Chris Sabin, John McChesney, Delirious, and Larry Sweeney, they've all hit that next level. Hentai, springboard somersault plancha, nicely done. All 6 prior tournament winners used that win in part or in full as a springboard to a new plateau in their career.
Absolutely. So Ruckus already knows just what this could mean if he's able to get in and win the tournament, the upcoming tournament, I should say.
And this is a tournament that really everybody all over the world wants to be a part of. Look at the men that have competed in the past. As we see on the outside here, Ruckus drives Hentai on the edge of that apron, and that is where wood meets metal. There is no safe place to land.
We've seen this before.
Ruckus, standing shooting star from the apron to the floor. And that's going to be the first major offense of this matchup from Ruckus, and it could take a lot out of Hentai.
As is evident by the fact that Hentai is essentially rolling himself over, trying to get up.
But you talk about the prestige of being in the Super Indy tournament. It's not just IWC stars, TNA stars, Ring of Honor stars, Japanese stars, Mexico, Canada, everywhere want to be a part and oftentimes attempt to qualify for the Super Indy tournament, rapidly becoming one of the most prestigious tournaments in this entire business.
And traditionally are one of the best shows of our season. Oh!
Double backflip into the splash by Ruckus, nicely done. Ruckus is so light on his feet, and it's going to be so interesting to see, and it's going to be a shame to see, really, that only one of these men can make it to that final 8.
Absolutely. This would have been a great match in the tournament itself.
Discus clothesline here, counter Hentai with a double chop to the chest. As we mentioned earlier with Troy Lords and Delirious, we've seen a first-time meeting here. We've seen a Super Indy final matchup earlier. What is it going to be like once we actually hit the actual tournament? Lateral press to endo.
Flurry of offense from Super Hentai there. He hit him with a good, looked like a combination headbutt slap to the chest, and then hit it again with twice the momentum.
And this is really the first time in quite a long time that Super Hentai has attempted to qualify. Great handspring into the body block. And we've seen Hentai attempt to qualify. We've seen Hentai get involved. And let's face it, the Unholy Alliance version of Hentai did not exactly embody the spirit of the Super Indy tournament. The Super Hentai always has, and certainly always will. A little razzle-dazzle in the corner from Ruckus, followed through with the rocker dropper. And Ruckus is in firm control right now at the moment.
And
lateral press to endo.
Well, we can talk about how much he exemplifies it and how great Hentai has been and how great he would be, but he doesn't get past Ruckus, then it's not, all of that is for Jack. A great power slam by Hentai, trying to buy himself a little time there, showing the power that he has for one of our more vertically challenged members of IWC, one of the strongest as well, and we got to see it there with the power slam.
Obligatory 10 count by referee Bobby Williams. And is either man going to get to their feet? We may have both men out of the Super Indy tournament, as much of a shame as that will be, but that's the reality we may be facing here, as Bobby Williams has hit 8. Hentai is up to the vertical base, Ruckus up to a knee, and now this war will continue. Super Indy spot on the line, and with so many talented men, you can run down the rosters of IWC, TNA, Ring of Honor, Japan, and point out several dozen men more than worthy of being in this tournament, but only 8 will advance. That's how prestigious these spots are.
You can almost view it as a tournament.
Triple knees, follow through. Hurricane Rana, nicely done. Hook of the leg, 2, and he almost got a count of 3, as you were saying.
You can
5 minutes has elapsed. 5 minutes.
Can I get a word in edgewise here? You can almost view it as a tournament of 16, with the first set of matches occurring throughout the year, and then the rest of it happening on that tournament evening. These guys are fighting because in essence they're in the tournament right now. It's theirs to win or lose.
Oh, roll through fisherman suplex 2 and no. And Ruckus can pull out so much offense that we really have not seen before. Much like Too Cold Scorpio has it so many times in his career, Ruckus certainly embodies that sentiment as well.
I was going to say, I've never seen that before. Have you?
Not at all. Again, that seamless motion that Ruckus can just maneuver around the ring. Of course, a member of the Blackout faction in many locations throughout the East Coast and beyond, but is going it alone here in IWC. Ruckus and Ricky Reyes have been running buddies in certain areas, but it's not about that here. It's about individual competition, and it's about Hentai almost knocked off the second turnbuckle to the hard floor. And check this out. Ruckus is going for everything here. Oh, tried to elevate Hentai overhead, couldn't get the footing, and Hentai dropped him back in the neck first, and the double knees down. Into the cover, this could be all. Hentai's going to advance.
Your winner and advancing to Super Indy 7, Super Hentai.
The man that started it all back in 2002 when he pinned the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels in the finals of Super Indy 1. May see his IWC career go full circle, ladies and gentlemen. We may be able to see Super Hentai regain the Super Indy title. Greatest champion in the history of the belt, but he's only held it once. Could he two-peat it? And could he two-peat it the toughest way possible by running the gauntlet at Super Indy 7? It all happens this spring. Super Hentai, Troy Lawrence, they've been bitter enemies. They've been teacher and mentor, but this spring they will be part of the Super Indy 7 field. What is the destiny of their dreams? Will they realize it? Will it come to life, come to fruition? Or will it become shattered to dust like we've seen happen with each man in their past, in their career? Super Indy 7 will be the showcase IWC event of the year this spring.
It's do or die time, my man. You know what? Last month, you proved one thing, that you're good at running away. But tonight, Larry Sweeney wins the IWC Super Indy Under. Ain't no place to run, ain't no place to hide, because it's Tetra rules, baby, and your ass is mine.
Talk about Super Indies. This is the man who won Super Indy 6, but in his first title defense, thanks to Dennis Gregory, those dreams came crashing down. John McChesney with the 2-on-1 advantage bloodied Sweeney, busted him open badly, and captured the Super Indy title. Since that moment in July, when he was screwed out of that Super Indy title, Sweeney has tried to fight his way through the war machine to get back to McChesney. Through baseball bat matches, through any type of match he could get, Sweeney fought hard and finally got McChesney in a steel cage this past month, but it came down to a race of inches. McChesney just barely escaping before Sweeney did. But now, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, no escape. You've got to batter your opponent into unconsciousness to win this matchup. And this will not be your respectful Super Indy contest. It's a war.
It is a member of the War Machine, and it's the four-time Super Indy champion, fabulous John McChesney.
And if you ask me, John McChesney got lucky. If it wasn't for McChesney tying Sweeney to the rope, to the cage, to whatever he may have used, if it wasn't for that, I believe Sweeney would have had that matchup won and would be Super Indy champion today.
And that's all a bunch of big ifs, though. If he hadn't tied him with a belt, if this, whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not, the man with the gold right now is fabulous. I gotta say, I'm kinda sorry he doesn't have his flag.
Well, will he be so fabulous following this Texas Death matchup? only been one other Texas death match in IWC history to my memory, and that was an all-out war with surely known Super Hentai, still talked about to this very day. And it is crunch time here. This is your main event of IWC's New Beginning 2008. I am Joe Dombrowski. Joining me is Jay Worthington Farnsworth. The Super Indy Championship is on the line. Fabulous John McChesney, the four-time champion and representative of the War Machine, defending against the man behind 12 large, brother, sweet and sour, Larry Sweeney, who has fought his heart out and bled buckets in an attempt to get that championship back. And Farnsworth, could this be his night?
You know, were I to make a pick, I need to, the comparison I would make here is, have you seen Fab prior to this match?
Not today, no.
No, he's been, wherever he's been concentrating on this match. Larry Sweeney, and don't get me wrong, I love having the Golden Palomino here in the broadcast booth. But he was here, he was out talking to some fans.
And they're not wasting any time. The time for talking is over. It's time to fight it out. And Texas Deathmatch rules, Jay Worthington Farnsworth.
Let's see whose focus is greater on it.
It's not just scoring a pinfall. There's more to it than that. Your opponent has to stay down and is not able to answer a 10 count. So really, 3 seconds can't win this match. It's going to take at least 13 seconds. And Sweeney takes this matchup to the floor early on, which was, of course, the location when he was originally busted open by Dennis Gregory when Gregory cracked Sweeney's head off that ring post some months ago, costing Sweeney his Super Indy pride.
Well, we've seen just how violent Sweet and Sour can get out here. So this is his element. This is the Texarkana Deathmatch.
And we've seen how physical John McChesney can be. Whether it's matchup, look out. McChesney eats the steel, whether it was a cage matchup, whether it was his series with Loki, aka Senshi. McChesney always brought the fight as well. Whether you like him or whether you don't, McChesney is a top-of-the-line competitor, and he just got sent right over our barrier. And Sweeney gonna get chased. And McChesney is already running for cover, already needs to rethink his strategy here. We'll try to follow this as best we can. Sweeney hammering away at McChesney through the sea of people at the Court Time Sports Center. And McChesney sounds like he just ate either a chair or our bleachers. Either way, it's steel, and either way, it did not feel good.
I can't actually see what's happening.
I believe Sweeney just drove McChesney in the head with the elbow. We apologize for the obstructed view here, but this matchup, no doubt, all out, drag out all over this building. And it's a situation where the personal animosity has gotten to a point it can't be contained in the ring. It cannot be contained by mere, as the spotlight now, over Sweeney and McChesney. And Sweeney's got some kind of weapon he's wearing away at McChesney on. Not sure if they're on the bleachers. Here they are, coming back towards the ring area. And McChesney sent over the top of our barriers and back into the ringside area. Sweeney with those elbow shots again. Measures the point of the elbow, but McChesney certainly knows how to measure the eyes.
Yes, he does.
Hard chop. Loki style chops and kicks. And that's what McChesney's going to need in this matchup. He's going to need to be lethal. He's going to need to be ruthless.
This is not a handshaking competition.
Not at all. And it's about to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Suplex coming up. Sweeney blocks it a second time. Look out! And that was solid steel. McChesney's back, his spine just struck against. No way to protect himself. And he landed at an angle. And that is our first 3 count of the matchup. McChesney has 10 seconds to get to his feet.
And really played smart by McChesney. He knows it's not just the pin. He may as well just lay down, take the pin, give his back a little more time to quit shaking and hurting. Give him a little more time before he gets up and gets back to the ring.
Well, I'm not so sure that McChesney was playing possum in that instance as he's back to his feet, favoring his back. Certainly that's a good strategy to utilize here. Pinfalls are really irrelevant here. It doesn't matter how many times you're pinned, you can't lose that championship. It's all about staying down for the 10 count. So if you can milk a 10 or 12 second rest and a respite for yourself, certainly that's going to be a great battle plan.
And figure 4
on the concrete floor here. You don't see this often, but you know what? Figure 4 puts pressure on 7 different points of the lower human anatomy, and if you got all that pressure, you're not going to be able to stand that well.
7. Wow, you've done your homework.
And McChesney just tapped out. Which is smart as Sweeney breaks the hold.
Because the longer he stays in the hold, the harder it's going to be to get up.
Had this been a one-fall contest, McChesney likely would have been able to fight through it, but at what cost, as a lot of damage would have been done to McChesney's lower body.
This is a whole different type of match. This is a whole different way of thinking in a match like this. Is he under the ring?
And McChesney just found a tear under the ring, and a hard shot. A shot out of nowhere to the top of the head. Looks like McChesney planted a weapon just in case. Knew exactly where that chair was.
Yeah, it's a death match. I'd take a chair if I was him.
And McChesney's certainly very proud of himself. Certainly very pleased, but the deed is not done yet. It's a long way to go. Not only do you have to pin the man, you have to keep him down for a 10 count without him being able to stand and answer the official.
And we might be seeing blood out of Larry Sweeney.
Well, that would be the 3rd time that Sweeney's been lacerated in a match with Fabulous John McChesney. McChesney knows right where to aim. He knows where that scar is, and he knows where that cut has been opened up, and he's going to open it further with hard right hands right into it.
Look at that!
And Sweeney is bleeding quite profusely as those locks have been stained crimson.
Oh my. Really, that's all I can say. Oh my.
Well, we knew this would be a war. We knew this would not be pretty. We knew it would be brutal and gruesome, and we knew the Super Indy title would be at stake.
This is exactly what I was looking for. This is what I wanted to see. 2 guys beating the crap out of each other.
Cover 2, and Sweeney, whether he actually would have been pinned or whether he stayed down for the 3 count to get some energy back in his system is really irrelevant here. The story now is that Sweeney can shake off the loss of blood, shake off the loss of equilibrium, and get to his feet, which he has. But as the time goes on, and as the blood continues to flow, we saw this in the original Super Indy title match, Farnsworth, as well as the cage. The equilibrium is going to become weaker and weaker, a lot more difficult to fight back or even stand.
Right, very, very true.
And McChesney is just ripping away at the face.
And now McChesney's hand's just as red as Sweet and Sour's forehead.
McChesney was gruesomely digging inside that cut as Sweeney is once again just brutally beaten, and he's got to dig down deep, much like he did in the steel cage, much like he did at Super Indy 6. He's got to find something deep inside him to press on, because once that blood starts flowing, it could be lights out very quickly. And Larry Sweeney just having trouble getting to his feet at this point without even a pinfall, without a knockout shot from McChesney.
But you have to figure McChesney's looking for that knockout shot. Speaking of which.
And there's the TKO. That's a knockout if there ever has been one.
Technically.
McChesney drops Sweeney, but he does not opt to go for a cover. He wants to make sure Sweeney's down to stay. Drops him a second time. Wants to make sure Sweeney's not going to milk a count here. Sweeney's not going to buy some time.
And he's picking him back up again.
Not a third. A third TKO. Sweeney's going to be done for. McChesney has a deep hook and the cover and the 3. And there's no way Sweeney's going to be able to get back up.
And Fab, smart. If he does get back up, he's sitting, he's resting, he's taking his time, he's catching his breath.
The Texarkana death match may end in the death of the man from Texarkana before this is all said and done. But Sweeney still willing himself up. The official is on, I believe, 7 or 8. He's on 9, and Sweeney's back up just in the nick of time.
There's still some fight in the sweet and sour one after all.
But notice the counts of the official are progressively becoming longer and longer. Before they could get up at about a 5 or a 6. Now it's taking them 9 and change. The energy is being sapped out of Sweeney as this match progresses. But it looks like we may have a second burst of adrenaline as the blood continues to flow down the face of Sweeney. Sweeney is using it to drive him further. Oh, block of the right, and Sweeney explodes. Another shot. A third right hand by the sweet and sour one. Mounting the offensive here. Drives the elbow down as Sweeney can begin to taste the Super Indy title returning home.
I wonder if he can taste it. It mixed in with his own blood at this point. The blood is just running down his face. Crimson mask, I believe is the term.
And Sweeney gonna go for the pile driver. Drops him with the pile driver right on the back of the neck. This could be all. Well, few if anybody can survive from a 3 count from a pile driver, but will McChesney fare better with an extra 10 to work with? And Sweeney's got to get to his feet as well here.
Well, Sweeney finally gets a chance to collect himself. He's been getting pummeled on for the past how many minutes. He now finally gets a chance to catch his breath, wipe the blood out of his eyes, and get ready to continue.
Sweeney's up.
If he can.
And McChesney gets up at 8, almost 9, as Sweeney is starting to close the gap between himself and the fabulous one. And Sweeney on the second turnbuckle on the inside. Just laying the right hands in and the left. Perfectly legal, Texas death rules, no disqualification or count. Into the buckle, nobody home. McChesney brings up the feet right to the face.
You can tell McChesney's still a little more clear. Oh!
Springboard with the splash. McChesney gets 2 in. He gets the 3 count. And again, all the air's been driven out of Sweeney, and Sweeney is once again on the defensive.
As I was saying, you have to believe that Fab has a little clearer mind right now. He's been more, as I stated before, more focused on the match, and at this point, not losing blood like Larry Sweeney.
Sweeney's got life, though. Sweeney's got life.
Legs under him.
But how strong and how much they can support him is another issue here, as the white shirt of Sweeney has been stained red with the huge amount of blood loss, the dangerous amount of blood loss we've seen from Larry Sweeney. McChesney, Hurricane Rana. Sweeney puts on the brakes.
And he's perched up top. It looks like he's, I was going to say, might we see?
We very well could. Bob Lar's elbow buried into the heart. And Sweeney has the cover. And there's another 3 count. but how much longer can Sweeney survive under these circumstances? The fans are behind Sweeney, but does Sweeney have the gas necessary left in the tank?
Sweeney is up.
Amazingly, he's back to his feet. But will McChesney make it? 9 for McChesney. McChesney still gets to his feet, but he needs the aid of the ropes. McChesney is not standing under his own power at this point, but he is standing, so the match will continue. Oh, super kick right to the head, and that's going to knock Sweeney loopy once again.
And McChesney outside.
Oh no.
With a chair.
Another steel chair from John McChesney as he looks to finish off Sweeney at the very least for tonight, perhaps longer. Oh no. TKO once again. It'll be the 4th TKO by my count. And on top of that, for extra torque, driven into the chair. And this is another 3 count. And Sweeney's lifeless, Farnsworth.
He might be out.
That could be what it took. That could be everything.
Oh. We have motion.
Somehow Sweeney showing life, willing himself on. Can Sweeney get to his feet? And McChesney looks like he's got a plan just in case Sweeney does. And McChesney is waiting for him, measures him. Oh God.
15 minutes has elapsed, 15 minutes.
Another knockout shot. And you can see the blood stained onto the chair. Oh no, now what? A 5th TKO. Sweeney counters. Sweeney counters. Pile driver. Pile driver on the steel. McChesney's head met the steel rampway. And a battered and bloody Sweeney, who looks like he just survived a car wreck, may score a fall here. He does. He's got the 3, but can McChesney answer the 10 count?
He's moving, but that may just be a slither down the ramp at this point.
Sweeney willing himself to his feet, back into the ring, and Bobby Williams, the referee, is halfway home with the count. This is going to be all. McChesney covered in blood himself. No clue where he is. McChesney, that's 10, new champion. Sweeney did it.
I'm in shock. Congratulations, Larry Sweeney, on a hard-fought victory.
Survived 6 months of torment, 6 months of 2-on-1 ambushes, survives the cage, survives Texas death to come out on top as a 2-time IWC Super Indy champion. He has the battle scars to prove it. Sweeney has survived an absolute war.
And Norm has to be happy because now the War Machine has no gold.
Sweeney stands on top of the Super Indy Mountain. John McChesney is in shock on the ramp. It's finally set in. The realization is now clear what has happened. John McChesney has lost the title.
John McChesney is just livid, smacking the ramp. You can see the anger in his eyes. And now he just leaves.
John McChesney has been dethroned. Your new Super Indie champion in a new beginning, a new 2008, a new champion in Sweet Sour Larry Sweeney.